He did it! Yes, he did!
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown.
Good morning. On this Tuesday, November 21st, 2023. Jason Ross here with you. Christopher Laud, you see him there through the haze, through the mist. For those of you watching on YouTube, it's just glass, but it's like you're in the fog, Chris.
Stinky!
Ooh, is that what's going on in there? Who knew? Good morning to one and all. Like we said, Carmichael Dave off this week. Short week, I assume for most of you. Thanksgiving holiday. Busiest travel day of the year, supposedly, is tomorrow. If that's happening for you, be safe. I guess people have to come home. It's probably Sunday, maybe. But I guess people come back in different waves. But anyway, a lot of people out in abnormal week. We're glad those of you that are here watching us this morning, certainly listening. We're here for you. As we will get into Sacramento Kings last night. Ooh, rough. That was stinky. In New Orleans. And actually, sometimes, that's where my family's from. But yes, besides that, stinky. Some of the streets of New Orleans. But hopefully the Kings will get right for the Wednesday game against New Orleans. We'll talk a lot about last night's game. Joining us today on the show, the voice of the Kings, the Gman. Gary Gerald. We'll check in with him from New Orleans a little bit later in the show. It's Tuesday. Also, Sean Salsbury will join us. We'll talk a lot about the week of action in the NFL, including last night's Monday Night Football game. That was good football. Pretty entertaining. Thought the Chiefs were going to get that done. The Eagles come from behind to win. We will get into that today. And some of our other Tuesday staples. We've got, Three for Madness. We've got Leading Off. We will get our top 5, bottom 5, and Niners at 9. NFL overreactions. We got celebrity birthdays, plenty of Kings audio and recap. So who's hot, who's not, what to watch. And it's all coming your way over the next couple of hours. Do want to say this off the top, Chris. I know we talk a lot about just, especially being in the morning, everybody here who's up now, I believe this is probably your regular morning routine. Maybe there's some abnormal days for people. But, I think we've discussed the different things that happen when you work mornings, from getting up seconds before your alarm to, oh, man, kind of waking up wondering, what time is it? And it might be, oh, it's midnight. Okay, I got many more hours. Today I woke up a little bit in a fog, was reaching for the phone, and that you're kind of aware but not. I'm like, okay, what am I going to read on my phone? Grab my phone. It was the exact time and like it totally shocked me. So that
moment is always
and that I haven't had yet, because usually it's like you grab the phone, it's like, oh man, I have 2 minutes. That's the deflating thing. But you woke up. But that one, it was literally at the time of my phone. So turn off my phone for the moment. I have like 3 alarms. I don't hit snooze, but I just want to make sure I get up. I used to keep the phone away from the bed, so I would have to get up to get it. But now I don't really hit snooze. But what I did do was spend 3 minutes on, Instagram, and you're looking at, like, what do I was realizing this morning the things that, these things are so smart. It's like, this is what Jason likes. So I'm going to keep feeding more of these things. I'm on a cycle of, let's see, Nate Bargatze, people getting scared, and ice baths. It's like, what is
ice baths?
Well, so our house right now, we're in the, it's just the biggest pain. Long story short, we have to do some repiping, and yeah, exactly. Just, we're in an old home. Anyway, we slow drains, all that stuff. Home's was built in 1950, I think. So just years and years and years.
So it's as old as.
What?
No, can't
You want to do my kids or something, my son, huh? Anyway, but we haven't had hot water for a little bit. And so there's been times where I've had to take a cold shower. And then it reminded me of the first year when got the pool, I said, I'm going to go in the pool every month. I want to make sure I utilize it. And obviously from like April to almost October, it's no problem. It's not heated. And then when I had to jump in November and December and January and February, that first year we had the pool, it was brutal. But what I do remember is getting out and just feeling alive. I don't know any other way. Like your senses are fully awake. And so then I think I was looking up cold showers, cold baths or whatever. And then you see, oh, these are the benefits. And then now I'm seeing like celebrities, Mark Wahlberg doing, the benefits of ice baths. Who was it last night or this morning? It was, oh gosh, the diners, drive-ins, Guy Fieri. He's like, oh, it's my time to get an ice. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people apparently. Well, I say a lot, but when you get that feed, is there really like 5 people that are doing this or is everybody doing this? Isn't that a weird kind of cycle when you get fed whatever your kind of current trend is and you just start
but if you go on Twitter, it's wild.
What do you mean on Twitter? Like different?
Like, because they have like the same type of thing. When you look at a video and you scroll up, it'll give you different videos.
Yeah.
But mine are just like absolutely out.
I can only imagine
everywhere
yours.
Because they'll be like soccer, wrestling, Russians yelling at each other at Parliament, wrestling.
Yeah.
It'll be like a guy talking about Elon Musk. It's like, I don't want this.
Right. And I don't know what it takes to change the analytics or the algorithms for whatever those feeds are. But again, that's kind of my cycle. And so then when you get through I will spend the time on it's when I say it's people getting scared too, it's like you used to do to me, or we had like, it's a funny thing where someone pops out and, it's people's reaction. So I'm on a feed of that for a while. And of course I'm laughing at other people laughing by, oh, no, I don't like to get scared. The ice bath thing, I don't know. That probably won't last very long. That one will cycle through. And then I've been seemingly every time I get a Nate Bargatze, the comedian feed, I watch the clip. So that's why I keep getting more and more. So it's an odd setup. I probably should, try to change that cycle, watch more Kings highlights or watch something, puppies or something more uplifting. Not that these are depressing by any means, but I don't know. I'm on a blooper run as far as, like I said, scares, or it leads into, fails. And those usually get me pretty good. So you have like random people yelling at each other, Russian Parliament, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it's like something like I didn't search out these videos.
Right.
I hadn't seen anything like that before. It's just like, what? I don't want to see this.
Yeah. AI, right? They can artificial intelligence. They know what we're doing. They're following it. That's the other one that's weird is I'm sure if it's happened to everybody out there, but Chris, I might be talking about, hey, have you ever had to get new curtains for your house or whatever? And then you're like, oh, I got these blinds at blah, blah, blah. And then next thing you know, in your feed, it's like that blind, it's like 3-day blinds. Wait, what? We were talking about it. Or that part is
that's
weird.
Too much.
Yeah. That's like, okay, Big Brother's not only watching, they're listening and they're getting into your feed. So, would you ever do, or have you ever done one of those, like when we were working with Damien, remember he was doing that cold, whatever that, chirotherapy.
I mean, I would.
That one for whatever reason seems better to me than sitting in
quicker.
Sitting in an ice bath. Like the players do it. They know that, like, that's their recovery. Now, obviously we're not athletes, but it's just, I know there are benefits of it, but boy, that one has got to be 100% mental. Like fighting through that.
I used to, because like you're talking about the benefits of a cold shower. I went like a solid 2 months doing that, but it takes you like a good 2 weeks to get used to it. And it's just like, okay, this is
routine. But didn't you feel better?
Yeah, you do feel better. But then there's that moment. So it's like, I just want like a hot shower.
Yeah.
And then like after that, you can't go back.
Well, especially, I mean, I think for right now, when we're both working mornings like this, that's a really tough one. If that's what you were to do, is like, I need to get up, take a cold shower. It just, especially now, I don't even know what it is outside, 40 something degrees, 48 degrees. It's like, it just doesn't feel that appealing to do that. I mean, obviously you're hopefully dried off, but it's just starting cold. Man, that's a chore. So you did notice a difference though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I did too when I just recently with the repiping, you had to do it. And It's one I can't bear it long. It's like you're in there. I don't even know if I'm getting the true benefits of it, but
yeah, that's the other thing. It's just like, okay, just need to get in and get out.
Do enough.
But then you're not.
Yeah. It seems like these guys, like the Mark Wahlberg feed that I got, they're talking about like 3 to 5 minutes is what but they're sitting in an ice bath. And I don't know if it does feel different than, if you get in a really hot jacuzzi where you're like, oh man, that's hot. But then it's like, oh, that feels good now. I'm totally comfortable. I guess you can get there. But if any of you have done that, feel free to let us know. Certainly on our text line today, if you ever want to chime into anything on the show, 916-339-1140. Also, the phone lines, 1-800-920-1140. And we appreciate any of you checking us out on YouTube. Looks like we got a text here. JR, if you have an iPhone, then in your settings, you can actually go in and turn off microphone suggestions for certain apps like Facebook and Twitter and all of those other type of things.
Go ahead and do that on your iPhone.
I have an Android, but I'm sure I have the same settings.
You've got a Pantech.
What does that mean?
It's just a terrible phone.
Okay.
Our friend for a long time, he never got a smartphone. He had a Pantech.
What? I've never even heard of that.
It's like
made up.
I think that they paid you to take the phone away from them. It was just like this little block, and it basically Pantech. And all you could do was just like text and call on it. And it'd be like, we'd be sending links to each other. And he'd be like, guys, I can't see this because I have a Pantech.
Chris, what's wrong with this phone? It's rotary. Pictures are in black and white.
Here's the thing, though, is once you have been with one for a while, it's tough to go back. Like if you hand me your phone right now, I'd be like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not anti iPhone. It's just when I first got a smartphone, I did get an Android at the time and then a Samsung. And then, I got to get the next one whenever my time was up. And now I've just stuck with it. So anyway, thank you, JR. I appreciate that. I'll go through those settings if I want. Sometimes I don't mind those ads that pop up. But anyway, all right, we're just getting started here on the show. Coming up next, we're going to do it. We'll lead off. We'll talk about that Kings' brutal performance in New Orleans. We'll look back at the Super Bowl rematch last night in Monday Night Football and some more news coming your way in leading off right here on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
It's the Black Friday Sell-a-thon at Folsom Lake Ford with low prices, low finance rates, and a $500 Amazon gift card on selected vehicles. Now through Monday, shop your truck headquarters, Folsom Lake Ford. See dealer for details.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Another 3 ball has been knocked down by Brandon Ingram. And the Pelicans are just sailing off into the sunset. Malik Monk just attempted a 3-point shot. It was blocked by Jones and a foul on Malik in the process.
Well, that's one way to lose your losing streak. Kings were the hottest team in the league, one of them, 6 in a row. They were 2-4 at one point, got to 8-4. Last night, the 5th loss of the season, still in good shape overall, big picture. As far as standings, the bigger concern to me, well, I didn't like the way the Kings played. Let's be honest. That part, there's really no redeeming quality in the performance by the Kings. The injuries are becoming a bigger deal than I thought they would be. I thought even to start the game, knowing that Alex Len is still out, Trey Lyles is still out, getting back Kevin Huerter, finding out that Sasha was hurt and Keon Ellis was hurt, I thought, okay, they can overcome all that. That's not the reason why they lost yesterday. But then in game, Chris Duarte gets hurt. He leaves the game. The bigger concern is Keegan Murray, just kind of the mysterious lower back injury. And he was out, didn't return, only played 16 minutes. Again, they were down, and he was minus 20 at the half as far as his plus minus. So they weren't, in a position necessarily to, they could have won the game at halftime, basically, where they were. They were down, I think, 13 at the half. Yeah, 66-53. But not the way they played. They didn't deserve it. They didn't earn it. I didn't like the style of play. I don't even know if body language, but they got worked. I mean, they absolutely got worked in this game. Credit goes to New Orleans. I am anxious that the Kings get another crack at them. Also curious if this is more of a matchup thing. I saw some people like, well, second night of a back-to-back. It's understandable. Well, it's early in the season. I don't really want to give them a complete pass on that. Other teams have to play back-to-backs. It was a little bit similar to the game in Dallas the day before where the Mavs were playing a second night of a back-to-back. That was played at a really high level, and then the Kings stayed at that level and Dallas ran out of gas. This one wasn't played as high of a level between two teams. I thought New Orleans was great. Zion was a problem in the first half, and then while the Kings kind of made some tweaks and adjustments to him, then the floodgates opened for other guys. Brandon Ingram got crazy hot in the third, and it was over. I thought the Kings didn't play a smart game, bad shot selection, didn't get into the paint. We'll get into a lot more of this, but they got worked, and their response game is tomorrow. So it didn't do very well for the Kings when they were in Houston like this. We'll see if this one's better for the Kings tomorrow in New Orleans. All right, cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
Snap to Mahomes, retreating. He's unloading it long. He's got Valdez-Scantling, and he cannot hang on to the ball. He drops the ball in the end zone. A deep post pattern. The Chiefs had it. They had the defender beat. And Valdez-Scantling on a deep post had the deep safety beat. And Valdez-Scantling drops the ball at the 1-yard line.
What could have been for the Chiefs, actually a great comeback for the Eagles. Really well-played game, intense, low scoring. Eagles, to their credit, rally back in the weather conditions. Jalen Hurts had a great throw to Devontae Smith near the goal line that helped get that brotherly shove play into the end zone. And then the Chiefs had their chances. That was the play. That's the play they had to convert. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who leads the NFL and dropped one. I mean, it does happen. It's painful. It's like, how do you drop that? That's probably what everybody said when they were watching the game. Doesn't make it any better. It does happen, and that's a play that, decides a game. Chiefs win that game. I think if he catches that, I mean, sure, the Eagles would have the ball again, but that was a heck of a throw. You could do everything right. That's why it takes an entire group to make a play work. Protection was good. Throw was on the money. Route was run well. Last part of the deal was catching it. So the other part of yesterday, and we'll get into this throughout the show too, is this really could have benefited the San Francisco 49ers. If the Eagles had dropped that to get their second loss, of course, they play each other in 2 weeks. Niners, in theory, could have won, pulled into a tie if they stayed with just 3 losses, and had the tiebreaker in the head-to-head. But instead, now that 2-game cushion is valuable for the Eagles. This is still part of that schedule gauntlet that they're in, and they've handled a couple games. And they continue to kind of do it this way. I don't think the Eagles have ever looked dominant, but good teams know how to win, and that's the spot the Eagles are in. They've got a good team. They really are good, and I think that's an impressive win in Kansas City, what they're able to do yesterday. So I know we'll get more feedback on that. We got NFL top 5, bottom 5 after another week of action has come and gone, and, man, this football season is flying by. I mean, it really is. But we will continue to look back at last week, preview the upcoming week. Remember, Thursday, triple header right here on Sactown Sports on Thanksgiving, as we've got, the Lions are always in on Thanksgiving, their tradition. They'll play the Packers. You got the Cowboys. I think it's the Commanders. And then the 49ers in action Thursday night against Seattle. All right, speaking of the Niners, how about cut number 3?
Cut number 3.
Hufanga?
A little concerned. We don't know for sure. Most likely it's ACL, but can't confirm it, so we'll find out later.
Well, that later was by the end of the show yesterday, but it is official. Talanoa Hufanga out for the season. Torn ACL. Tough news there for him individually, for the Niners defense. Kind of one of those important pieces to, that I would say back end of the defense, but he was everywhere. He was just a rover all over the defense, sometimes blitzing, making plays at the line of scrimmage, middle of the field, kind of past that first line, in the secondary, interceptions, special teams. Like he was just really impactful for this team. And so when you lose kind of a spirit of your defense, that does some damage. And unfortunately for him and for the 49ers, Talanoa Hufanga has his season come to an end. So that's some of your things from leading off. Do want to point out there was some other breaking news this morning regarding the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their offense has been awful, near the bottom in basically every category. Rushing, they were mid-pack. Passing, second to last. 28th overall in total offense, and a lot of concern with a team that's good. 6-4 has a really good defense. They have fired their offensive coordinator, Matt Canada. And that has kind of been rumored and speculated for a while. Again, this is an organization that just does not believe in firings. I mean, they don't. They rarely, we know they don't fire head coaches, and nor should they here with Mike Tomlin. I think he's one of the game's greats. But they don't really fire and dismiss coordinators. So that's an organization that believes in continuity, hiring good people, let them work. I think that's a pretty good philosophy. And in this case, feeling like they need a spark. They're in a division that, right now last is Cincinnati at 5-5, and they're going to have an uphill climb without Joe Burrow. You've got then Pittsburgh, Cleveland, who got the win this last weekend over Pittsburgh, and then certainly the Ravens leading the charge there. So Pittsburgh making some news today. Matt Canada dismissed as offensive coordinator, and we'll see what kind of impact, if any, that has on the Pittsburgh Steelers going forward. All right, so there you go. There is leading off. When we come back, look, we're going to have a day here on the Sacramento Kings that's we got some sound, some reactions, some tough news, but we're actually going to begin with, I'll say, some positive news for the Sacramento Kings. Look, this is only one loss. It hasn't snowballed into a losing streak by any means. Was not a good win. We're not going to sugarcoat that throughout the show, but there was good news yesterday. De'Aaron Fox named Western Conference Player of the Week. Some of the latest NBA power rankings are out before last night's game, and thought you'd like to hear what they're saying about the Kings and where they are looking as the season goes on. So we'll do some good news regarding the Kings. We'll have that for you next on Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. We're looking at a cool start to the day. A few clouds will fill in this afternoon, but overall mostly sunny. Plan for highs to peak in the mid-60s. You can get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said, I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around the store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting. And the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store. Knee, hip,
foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out, Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Shop Black Friday every day and get the best new deals all month long only at Lowe's. Right now, buy one DeWalt 20-volt max 4-tool combo kit. Get 2 select tools free. That's up to a $438 value. Plus, get up to 50% off select vanities, faucets, and shower heads. Shop in-store and online today because Lowe's knows deals. Valid through 11/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Pro football player Travis Kelce is pressed for time during the football season. So he does 2 things at once. Whether it's grilling while mowing.
2 things at once!
Or getting this season's updated COVID-19 shot at the same visit as his flu shot.
2 things at once.
You can be like Travis and ask your pharmacist about getting this season's COVID-19 shot at the same visit as your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Learn more and schedule at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline, Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Meshuggah comes to Hard Rock Live Sacramento on November 22nd with special guests In Flames and Whitechapel. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
Here's something you've never heard before.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Introducing 24/7 Lifeguard Protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports' IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com and sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's film at the Esquire IMAX.
A deep dive into the Sacramento Kings performance last night throughout the show, and there's plenty of things to be critical of, at least for one day. Not a good performance for the Kings. 129-93, and it was a struggle to get to 93. Remember how hot this offense was? All that stuff I was heaping praise on Fox yesterday. I thought this was one of his worst games in a long time, but look, doesn't diminish anything that I said about him as far as where he is, his superstardom, his ability to carry this team. I mean, all those things are all true, but you can go around the league, and this is going to happen to the best players and best teams. You just got to stop it from snowballing, and the Kings have done a much better job of that in the last season plus, right? That's why you have averages. That's why you have records. That's why you have standings, and the Kings have been one of the better teams in the league for a year plus. Now, they need to keep it going. This doesn't mean this is the team that's going to be here the whole year as far as the way they're playing now. But that's the hope, right? The trend. Even you'll take a 6-game win streak and a clunker. I think that would be fine if that continue. You're trying to identify, though, why you had the clunker. What was it? What was it about New Orleans? And we'll get into that a little bit later. But I do want to kind of finish up with maybe more of the kind of the bow on De'Aaron Fox and the good news regarding the Sacramento Kings, at least at the moment, because Sacramento still is in a really good spot, the way they've been playing, the way Fox has been playing. And after the show yesterday, finding out that it was De'Aaron Fox, in fact, named Western Conference Player of the Week. Kings went 4-0. Fox had just ridiculous numbers. And I think there's a lot of people thinking that Sabonis could get the honor. Wouldn't even have been a bad idea if it was both guys kind of sharing that, going co-offensive players of the week. But Fox did get it. Well-deserved. He was amazing. And remember yesterday when I was talking about De'Aaron and quotes that he had about Mike Brown, where he said Mike Brown sometimes talks in ways to me personally, to the public, about me, saying, and on all of us, saying, almost believing in us more than maybe we believe in ourselves. He's put things out there that make us feel that we're better than we are. And that's great coaching. And he, was reciting I recited how last year when Mike Brown's like, look, we have 2 all-stars on this team. Sabonis had been the only one that had been an all-star. But he said, well, look, we've got 2. And they got 2 last year in Sabonis and Fox. Then he kept going all year long. We have got 2 all-NBA players on this roster. They ended up with 2 all-NBA players on the roster. And then offseason, he was really talking about De'Aaron a lot, saying how he can be, in his words, I think we're elite, as he's as special as any player that he's coached. He's coached Kobe. He's coached LeBron. He's like, he can be that guy. So he was named Western Conference Player of the Week. Here's some more of that kind of high praise that Mike Brown has had for De'Aaron Fox.
Fox did his job. I've said it before. He did what he's supposed to. This is what he's supposed to do. He's a two-way player. He guarded multiple guys tonight. He guarded Kyrie, he guarded Luka a little bit, guarded off the ball, and he was phenomenal. But that's who he's supposed to be. And, we need to get that every single night from Fox for 48 minutes. And that's his mindset. And once he's there, now he's MVP. Because nobody can frickin' mess with that man. He's that talented. Believe that.
I think he wanted to say something else, but he said it. Like nobody can mess with him when he's in that groove, in that mode, that committed. And, I think Fox, to some extent, had that mindset yesterday, but not entirely. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But well-deserved Western Conference Player of the Week. And then there's Coach. Now, again, from All-Star to All-NBA, now he's putting that MVP label on De'Aaron Fox. He keeps pushing the goalposts and the goals for De'Aaron. And De'Aaron's chasing him. And I think he has that ability if this team has a great season, if he leads the league in scoring. He doesn't have to lead the league in scoring, but has stats that he's been having. He'll be in the conversation. It's going to be tough with some of these centers and guys that are averaging, near triple doubles, but he's truly a special player. It's great to have a superstar like De'Aaron Fox on this roster. So before yesterday's game, kind of you look around the league. I always like to check the latest sites that put up power rankings. So the NBA, NBA.com, had theirs yesterday. And the biggest jump by any team was the Sacramento Kings. They moved up from 17 in the power rankings, for those that care, to number 7. And here's what they said. Offensive rating was 11th going into last night. Defensive net rating, 14th. So the Kings had really elevated that side of the ball before last night. The Kings have won 6 straight games. This is before yesterday to climb into the top 4 in the Western Conference, and 4 of those 6 wins have come against Thunder, Cavs, Lakers, and Mavs, who also have winning records. So pretty good resume of wins there. 3 takeaways in the Kings. They're now 6-1. We'll update that to 6-2 with De'Aaron Fox, who returned from a 5-game absence, averaged 32.3 points over those 4 games last week. They scored 122 points per 100 possessions in the 7 games he's played and just 103 per 100 in the 5 games he's missed. Domantas Sabonis has seemingly enjoyed the return of his point guard, shooting 75% over the last 4 games, including 7 of 11 mark from outside the paint last night. Just to kind of add to the tough night, what was Sabonis? Well, he's 4 of 8. That wasn't a bad percentage. Even with Fox's return, Sabonis has averaged 7.5 assists over 4 games. It's early, but he's on pace for his 3rd season of averaging at least 18, 12, and 6 assists per game. Only one other player, Wilt Chamberlain, has done it 2 times. 2 times has done it more than once. So The offense is great when the point guard's healthy, and the defense might legitimately be improved. The Kings might be following up last season's success with something better. Prior to Sunday, the Kings were one of 2 teams, the Rockets were the other, that had yet to play back-to-backs. The second game of their first back-to-back is the first of 2 straight games in New Orleans. That's the game that happened yesterday. And with both teams currently 2-0 in the in-season tournament, the Kings game in Minnesota on Friday will be for first place in Group C. So those are some high praise and some good things regarding the Kings.
I think we are seeing why all these players are sitting out now.
Why is that?
Because that Minnesota game is going to be for...
So they're faking injuries?
I don't think they're faking. I just think that
I could rest today.
Yeah, it's something that they do have.
Yeah.
But could they play? If it was for the final cup, would they be playing?
I think so. So are you a Cup fan? Have you liked
Oh,
this?
yeah, 100%.
You do like it?
Yes. I will say the 3 people on board from the very beginning at this radio station was me. I would say I'm first, but I am a little biased against myself. Then Whitey, then Chris.
You're not giving me on that? I've been for the
No,
Cup.
because before it even started, you're like, I don't know what this is.
Well, here's where I was really confused. So when we went to the broadcast meetings 2 seasons ago, and they're like, hey, this needs to be embargoed. We're letting you know there's going to be this in-season tournament's happening next year. And then they had a guy up there explaining it. And I feel like I can kind of grasp scheduling and all this stuff pretty well. And the looks in the room was like, huh? What's happening? And, it's just one person, and he's literally doing like data. He's like, Team A will play Team B. If Team B were to win, before like the elimination stuff and the future scheduling, every team will have 80 games. There'll be 1 game missing from home, 1 from the road. Those will be made up on X date, blah, blah, blah. And it's just a rolling thing. You're going, okay, I think I get it. Now that it's here, it's pretty easy to comprehend. One thing I didn't get until they explained it pretty early on too was, how are you going to decide the wild card team? So now here we have point differential. And I actually like how that, Chris, it's a subtle thing, but that's even changed the end of NBA games.
Yeah.
In the tournament, at least, because it's kind of, hey, if you're up 8, like just hold the ball. You're not rubbing it in. But now it's like, hey, we want to win by 14. You're just trying to win by as much, which that's different than we normally see. So these games do feel different to me.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Hop on board.
Yeah, you're on board. I won't be if the Kings get eliminated. No, I think the best part of this whole thing will be.
And I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
But Chris, Whitey, and I all called dibs if the Kings go to Vegas.
As far as what?
We get to go for the station.
Oh, you're going?
Mhm.
Okay. I think we better get on that pretty quickly.
We started in June.
Yeah.
Back when there was a Chris and Co.
Oh, that's true. That is true. So you'll break up Draper and break up Styles just for the day. You guys will all be out there.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope the Kings are there. I think the elimination stage will be the best, like the elimination round. That's that's the true appeal of this.
Home game in Sacramento, elimination game.
Right. That's what a play-in game is. That's what a game 7 is. It's a different circumstance, but that's what they're trying to replicate, like the NCAA tournament one and done. And you get it there. You just don't get it right now. But I think that part's going to be pretty cool for everybody. So we look forward to that. But there's kind of a look at what some of the people say about the Sacramento Kings. I did see one that was just released this morning. So obviously this is after yesterday. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. NBA Power Rankings. So this is the latest one this morning. So this is going to have yesterday's Kings loss in it. Well, they have them 7th. Here, this is from CBSSports.com. The Kings looked unstoppable in wins over the Lakers, Spurs, and Mavericks to start the week, but ran out of gas on Monday in a blowout loss to the Pelicans. De'Aaron Fox was in his bag, averaging 34 points, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds on 47% three-point shooting in 3 wins. Chris, everybody's got a bag now. Did you have a bag when you played? Did you get in your bag?
Oh, you know my bag.
Your bag is the deceptive bag.
Yes.
Triple pump fake.
Yeah.
Pass.
Triple
threat. You don't know what Chris is going to do. Likely, though, he's not going to shoot. Likely. I've read the scouting reports.
Oh, if I could shoot, I'd be the best basketball player in my school of all time.
If you could shoot.
If I could shoot.
One small hurdle. All right, so the latest one has the Kings.
If I could shoot or dribble.
So, but pass. Come on. Some say the best passing big man in the history of your school.
I would say the greatest 6-foot big man passer of all time.
From your school.
From my school.
In fact, the school shut down.
It did.
Because
couldn't handle it.
Yeah. Where's the where did they put the jersey and the statue and all that? when they took it down. Is the school? What's the school now?
You know where the statue in Jersey is?
Where?
And every single person who saw me play, it's in their heart.
In here. What is at the school now?
Huh?
What is the school now?
What do you mean?
You said it's gone. Like, what is it? Is it a mall or what? Some other, like a medical building or?
It was when I was going there. I don't know what it is. When I was going there, it was a formal middle school.
Okay.
So I'm guessing it's some sort of.
Oh, drop down a level?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it was. No, it went up. So like we were high school, but
right.
It was a former middle school.
Yeah, but now you said the school doesn't even exist.
Yeah, I don't know what they do there.
Okay. It shut it down after Chris made the passes of a lifetime. All right, break time for us. When we come back, what a thriller last night in Monday Night Football. We said there was a lot to watch last night. The Kings game probably lost a lot of interest for some people. Then if you switched over to the Monday Night Football game, quite a treat, an amazing game. We'll recap that next.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Does your dog leave frowny piles of poo around the yard? Did you know that a solid poo is one of the best indicators of your dog's gut health? Supreme Source Super Premium Dog Food is made with organic super seaweed and other powerful antioxidants, supporting a healthy digestive system. Real protein is always the first ingredient, plus a blend of essential vitamins and minerals to help support your dog's overall health and well-being. Do their digestion a solid, literally. Find Supreme Source Premium Dog Food at Safeway, Save Mart, and Winco, or a local grocery store near you.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Red Hawk Resort Casino is an entertainment experience like no other. We're the only place where you can play blackjack, then hop on an indoor car track. We're the only place with more than 2,000 of the hottest slots and a state-of-the-art 18-lane bowling center. And now with a world-class sports bar and a resort hotel to stay after you play. Is it any wonder we've been voted best over 100 times? We're Red Hawk Resort Casino, official casino partner of the Sacramento Kings.
Prestigio Jewelers Black November sale is on all month long. Get amazing doorbuster deals while supplies last. 1 carat diamond earrings only $449. Wedding sets starting at only $899. 70% off gold chains and much more. Get quick and easy credit approval and low monthly payments at Prestigio Jewelers. No credit, bad credit, even bankruptcy, you're approved. Prestigio Jewelers guarantees your credit up to $10,000. Shop designer brands such as Cartier, Gucci, Bulova, and Citizen. Visit us today or online at prestigiojewelers.com. See store for details.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long, long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hey y'all, this is Bill with the Good Guys. Call Good Guys Heating and Cooling for all your home comfort needs. Are you tired of big companies overcharging? Have you received a jaw-dropping price for repairs, replacement of your HVAC system? Good Guys are here to help. We offer free second opinions. We guarantee to beat any quote for repair or replacement from the big companies out there. We got the best price, best service, guaranteed. And that's no bull.
Call 530-GOOD-AIR. License number 1057618.
Whitey here, reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat. Bring out all the flavors of the holidays with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill is turning me into a pro. Napoleon Grills has features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last, complete with a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills. Now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories for the holidays.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
And he takes the knee again, and that's going to do it. That's all there is, ladies and gentlemen. What a win. What a terrific win for this football team. What a terrific win. 21-17. The Eagles are 9-1.
9-1. It's about your record, right? How you look. I mean, the Eagles, I don't want to paint this as like they're a fraud. That's not my point. They haven't been, I think in the Niners record, I think that even an Eagles fan would say this, I believe. The Eagles are 2 games clear of the 49ers after that win last night. So that win, that comeback did some damage to the 49ers' hopes of getting the 1 seed. But I would think when the Niners have played their best, they've looked better than the Eagles. Now, that doesn't matter if you don't play your best or if you don't play your best consistently. And if they play each other, who will win? I don't know. We'll find out in 2 weeks. I felt like last night's game, though, for the Eagles is a lot like how the Niners are going to treat that game with the Eagles in 2 weeks. The Eagles lost the Super Bowl to the Chiefs. This game meant the world to them. It was a grind, defensive battle. Some of the stats, honestly, I didn't know about the Chiefs watching the game, how good they've been defensively this year, how rough some of their offensive numbers were. But probably people always thought, man, if Patrick Mahomes ever had a defense, look out. Well, he's got a good defense. Their offense is what's struggled a little bit for them, but credit to the Eagles on that. And for the Eagles to come from, the deficit they had on the road, in the rain, tough conditions, that was impressive. I mean, that was absolutely impressive. Unfortunately, I think the memory that most people will have from the game will be this.
Snap to Mahomes, retreating. He's unloading it long. He's got Valdez-Scantling, and he cannot hang on to the ball. He drops the ball in the end zone. A deep post pattern. The Chiefs had it. They had the defender beat. And Valdez-Scantling on a deep post had the deep safety beat. And Valdez-Scantling drops the ball at the 1-yard line.
So the Chiefs have been shut out in the second half 2 of their last 3 games. They're the worst second half scoring team in the NFL. That one surprised me. But that play specifically, a drop, tough play there for Kansas City in what was a well-played game. Afterwards, Patrick Mahomes was actually asked this question if he regretted throwing the ball there to Valdez-Scantling.
I mean, I have no regret. I mean, they triple teamed Travis, so I went to the guy that won downfield, and Marquez won. Just didn't come away with the ball. I mean, I could probably throw a little bit shorter. He was that open. So, you just got to continue to try to get better and better. Defense is keeping us in games, and if we can find a way to just get a little bit better as an offense, we're going to win a lot of these games.
All right, more from the Chiefs. Again, the losing team in this, still 7-3, still one of the better teams. They probably would have locked up. I think they're already going to win the AFC West. Probably might have been a lot closer to getting the top seed in the AFC overall, but here's Mahomes still post-game.
I mean, I don't think it's just me and the receiver. I think offensively, we're just not where I would want to be at this point in the season. And that's everybody. It starts with me. I got to make better throws at certain times. We have to continue to move the ball down the field and just be more consistent thoroughly throughout the game.
All right, so he's talking about maybe not quite being on the same page as an offense. Andy Reid shared those same thoughts.
I think they were on the same page. We were maybe off a tick, but they know the route they're running and how to run it, and God knows where to go with it. We got to do a better job of connecting on it.
It's finishing the deal, making the catch, making some of these other plays. Certainly the wet weather was a factor, but, look, the Eagles were playing in it as well, and maybe they handled it a little better as the game went along. One more here from Andy Reid about where this team is and kind of what he wants to see in the back end of the season.
I've seen teams change things around quick in this league. So we got to take care of business there and get it done. I'm not standing here having to talk to you guys about this. I want to get it right, and So I'm a part of that too.
All right, so that's the Eagles side of things. Again, a really well-played game, a lot of fun to watch, good intensity. Super Bowl rematch Monday night, a lot of eyes on it. Again, that was a good version of NFL football. Now, the winning team, how about the Eagles? It's about who wins and loses. They got it done. Big play was the 4th down stop when the Chiefs had the ball one more time.
Here we are. Hold your breath. Mahomes is back. Mahomes is looking. He's dancing around. He's pulling. He's firing, and it is incomplete. It is incomplete, intended for Watson. And incomplete. And the Eagles are going to win this thing. The Eagles are going to come from 10 points down at halftime to beat the team that beat them in the Super Bowl. Is it revenge? No, but it sure does feel good.
That's it. That was perfectly stated at the end. Yeah, it doesn't make up for the Super Bowl loss. Feels good. Puts them at 9-1. It puts them in control of their destiny in the NFC. This was that difficult part of the schedule for the Eagles that they're still in. And a team like the Niners, who are hot on their heels, who have that same kind of feel that they want to beat them in a couple weeks. Well, the Eagles know they've even got some more wiggle room based on coming from behind to get that win. So
it was okay.
Yeah, that's what Mama Kelsey had thought. Was she wearing the split jersey last night again? I think they showed
I didn't see her.
And honestly, I spent more time on the Kings until the end. Was
Unfortunately.
Was Taylor there?
No, there's like some bad things that happened at a Brazil concert.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's where
she's okay.
She might have had her.
Everybody's okay?
Yeah, but like it was like a bunch of heat that people were having like medical issues with.
Oh gosh, okay.
And then people were getting robbed outside the stadium.
Jeez.
It was just insanity.
Okay. Yeah, because I again had it on both screens. We have to, obviously watch the Kings a little bit more. And then once the Kings fully ended and we were done with the post game, then I watched the last 8 minutes of that game with sound on and full clarity. But anyway, here we go. Here's Nick Sirianni about the team getting the job done.
It wasn't pretty. It wasn't. I mean, there was a lot of ugly moments in it, but they just kept fighting and kept staying together. It was just a good team win, where everyone just stayed together, right? And the defense just kept making plays, waiting for the offense to make a play, and we did in some critical times.
All right, there's so much.
That's a respectable job.
There's so much talk about Travis Kelce basically in this, and he had another touchdown in this game. But how about his brother, Jason Kelce, in the Kelce Bowl? Nick Sirianni reflects on him.
Nobody sets the table and gets everybody on the same page better than Jason Kelce. Nobody I've ever been around does that. I've been around some really good guys that get everybody in position, but there was some confusion. They created some confusion. That's what, Spags does a great job of that. Trying to do a better job as coaches, getting them better places to make plays. And Jason and Jalen did a good job of getting everybody on that, everyone together and having a good second half.
What's funny is I again, in here, we have the TVs. You can't hear the audio per se. There was literally a play I remember seeing where it looked like Jalen Hurts was calling an audible and he was in the shotgun and Kelce turned around and he's like shaking his head. Did you have audio on for that, Chris?
No, I just saw it on Twitter.
Okay, because I'm like, what? I haven't really seen that much before from a center. It's like, and my impression, I don't know what they were saying even on Twitter, but it was like, is he telling him, no, don't change? Like, we're not running that. And then the play he ran, they ran to the left, he pulled and they had a great block, but is that kind of what people were saying? He was like, no.
Yeah.
Well, let's do this instead.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that's great leadership there from the center. How about after the win? What did the coach say to the team?
The message was just, how are we going to do this? How are we going to come into a hostile environment, win a game on the road, a regular season game on the road against against really outstanding players and really outstanding coaches? The only way to do that, we can't do that alone. We got to do that together. And that was the message. That was the message that we had all week is how play together. And man, and it really, it really showed itself tonight how together we were.
Well, they did stick together, found a way to win on the road, building more character. Tough wins like that gives you more confidence, belief, fans certainly behind them, and the Eagles are going to be a team certainly to look out for. Look, they won the NFC last year, could have won in the Super Bowl. How about their quarterback, Jalen Hurts, on getting that tough win?
I don't think we played clean tonight. I don't think we played to our standard, nowhere near our standard. But I think the thing that you can't test or quantify is the resilience that a team has and the ability to persevere and see through things, overcome things, and his team has that. And so, we've yet to, put up a performance to our standard, but, we're continuing to find ways to win. And when you win games like we've won games, that builds a ton of character. And, we're kind of in, I guess, character development mode with the games we've played and how we've won. And it'll only serve us great things in the future.
Well, that's what they're chasing now, is trying to play that perfect game, and that's what all teams are chasing. But the Eagles in good shape after that win last night in Monday Night Football in Kansas City. All right, another hour of the show coming up. I want to remind you, everybody participating in the show comes to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. When we come back, we start the second hour of the show. Kings and Pelicans last night. It was lopsided, but why? We'll explain next.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. We're looking at a cool start to the day. A few clouds will fill in this afternoon, but overall mostly sunny. Plan for highs to peak in the mid-60s. You can get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The recent storm has caused dangerous driving conditions for us. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down. Be alert and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
Gobble, gobble, folks. It's that time of year again when the leaves fall, and so do the prices at Elk Grove Kia. We're bringing you Thanksgiving early with deals that'll make your wallet say thanks. This fall, our lot is stuffed with the latest Kia models, and we've carved out incredible savings. Get your hands on a brand new Kia with Elk Grove Kia's award-winning reliability and service you can trust, unlike your Auntie's dodgy broccoli casserole. Don't wait until the turkey's on the table. Come to Elk Grove Kia and feast on the best deals this fall. And don't worry if you have challenged credit. Our finance team has over 100 years of experience. They may or may not have even helped a pilgrim or two get qualified. So hurry on down to Elk Grove Kia, where the prices are falling faster than Uncle Bob falls asleep in front of the football game at Thanksgiving. It's the Thanksgiving sale going on now at Elk Grove Kia, located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com. Elk Grove Kia, where the only thing bigger than our savings is our gratitude for our amazing customers.
Elk Grove Kia.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles, drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet, and the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. Makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Welcome into hour number 2 of the show. Jason Ross here with you today. Chris Verlot as well. No Carmichael Dave. He is off this week. Back next week. And reminder, we're off Thursday and Friday. Thanksgiving holiday. Triple header of NFL football on Thursday. Kings in-season tournament game on Friday. But we'll be back with another show after tomorrow's show on Monday. But last night, and I should remind you, too, as well, this hour, a busy hour, we've got 3 for Madness coming up. We will have NFL overreactions after Week 11 and the Jiffy Lube drive of the game, if you can identify last night's. And there was a play, and there might be some levity behind this one today, but if you can remember the Jiffy Lube drive of the game, if you heard it called by the G-Man Gary Gerald, that'll be right before the G-Man joins us.
If you were still listening,
yes,
and you heard the Jiffy Lube drive of the game,
good for you.
Congratulations.
Yes.
You earned this one.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll tell you when that is a little bit later this hour. So let's get into last night's game. If you did watch, did listen, I would say right here, I'm going to play this highlight, kind of the last bit of good news for the Kings. The game peaked right here.
Rebound Barnes. It had to hurt her. Kings are on the run. Just Sabonis in the middle, lobs up an alley-oop, but he can't get there, Monk. But he saves it from going out of bounds. Finds Herter in the corner, and Kevin Herter knocks down the 3. That was so close to being a turnover on the errant pass. It was too high from Sabonis for Monk on an alley-oop attempt. but Monk saved it with his amazing athleticism before his feet hit the floor from going out of bounds. He found the open man, Herter in the corner, who knocked down the triple to make it 45-41.
So that was an amazing individual play, put the Kings up 4. Yeah. Then the rest of the quarter happened, and this guy was far too much of a problem.
Inside 2.5 to go in this second quarter. Zion calls for the ball, gets it, rolls to his left, turns inside to the rim, and converts again. Zion Williamson having a huge second quarter. He's now 8 for 10 from the floor, has 16 points.
Huge quarter, 24-2 points in the paint in the second quarter alone. Zion went off, had a huge first half. I thought there was either bad recognition, bad defense, no physicality with Zion, which, again, totally easier said than done. He is a physical player. He split double teams. He got to his favored left hand, and it was all too easy. And then whatever adjustments seemingly the Kings made, if they did, on Zion, then in the second half, Brandon Ingram got cooking, and that's what you have when you got multiple scores. Look, the Kings have been on the right side of that if you're trying too much on Sabonis or on Fox and you let other people get involved. But I just didn't like the totality of the game for a lot of reasons. Now, big picture, it's one loss. You don't get too caught up in that. But I think this team in the win streak not only has been playing good basketball, but I think they've been playing smart basketball. I thought this was one of their least physical games. I don't know if they were afraid of the height and the length of the Pelicans, but Sabonis was as passive as I've seen him in the paint. De'Aaron Fox can get anywhere he wants to. He just settled for threes. The most amount of threes I can remember him taking, and his three-point shooting is better. De'Aaron took 18 shots yesterday. 12 of them were threes. I mean, he thrives on paint touches, spray outs, or finishes. Chris, he was just a three-point shooter.
And the thing that really stunk was when those 2 losses to Houston, it was one of those things. Well, if Fox is playing,
right,
he's not going to have him go on those runs.
Right.
If Fox is on the floor, he's going to stop the bleeding, and that didn't happen at all.
No, and I think when he thought he would do it, he was settling for threes. Like, okay, you're down 14. This game is by no means over. A three-pointer makes it 11, but a good 2 is 12. Like, it's okay, or get to the basket, get fouled, get something going, and it just snowballed. And then, I mean, look, injuries were a part of it. It's not a reason why they lost, but it was a factor. And that might be the biggest concern going forward because you get Kevin Herter back after missing 1 game. You already have Lyles. You have Len out. We find out before the game Keon Ellis is out. Certainly Sasha was out. Then losing Duarte in the game and Keegan Murray. There wasn't a lot of intel right after the game about the injuries, but let's hear Kevin Herter post-game talk about kind of where things went wrong.
Obviously, tough start to the year. You can't really control injuries, and hopefully a lot of the stuff is minor, and guys are able to be in and out of the lineup pretty quickly.
And what are the young guys who might be getting more opportunity now? Like, what is and obviously Silver Lining they would have that opportunity. What do you expect from them, and what they need to do to maximize it?
Yeah, nothing special. Just coming in, playing hard, playing their game. Got a good offensive system going, and a lot of the guys you can plug and play and fit in, and just defensively being in the right spots, competing.
What can you guys do Wednesday against Zion, given that he's such a unique physical force offensively?
Yeah, I thought that first half we didn't show a crowd enough. We gotta be better for each other and in gaps and in help defense, and did a little better job in the second half. But obviously Ingram got it going. So just setting the tone. We know what he's tough to stop when he gets downhill. He goes to his left hand. He has been over the course of his career. Just got to be better for each other.
As a shooter yourself, what's the challenge, and is there a challenge at all dealing with an injury to your offhand that you're dealing with?
Yeah, it's trying to find rhythm. But if you're in the lineup, there's no excuses. You gotta make shots.
Yeah, I mean, again, across the board, I didn't really like the game from anybody from the Kings. I thought, you could still get something out of it as the game goes along that we saw when the Kings were in Houston. Those were 2 brutal performances, but Coach cited at the end of that. Look at how Keon Ellis played here at the end. Look at how Alex Len played at the end, and it rewarded them with more minutes out of that. Now, the injury front, I know a lot was made, and rightfully so, about how the Kings, just as far as numbers of games missed last year, were one of the tops of the league as far as injuries. They were a healthier team. Now, they had significant injuries, and Sabonis breaking his thumb, but played through it. Fox getting hurt at the most important time of the year in the postseason, but played through it. Now you have some injuries, like when Fox rolled the ankle. I mean, he had to sit. That made sense. But, I mean, Lyles is an important piece. You would love to have him back. Len's going to be a while. You hope that Sasha, Keon Ellis, Keegan Murray with that lower back injury, I mean, that's a mystery. I hope he's okay. And then Duarte, we'll get some more reports on those guys as the day and days go along. But that is a reality of the sport. And they had enough. I mean, that if you watched the game and said the injuries were the reason they lost, I would beg to differ. It didn't help. But did you not think the Kings had enough to win? They did. They had Fox. They had Sabonis. They had Barnes. I mean, they had Herter. They had 4/5 of their starter. Murray played a half. They were down 13 at half with their starters. And they had a terrible second quarter with their starters. So they still had Monk, their best bench player. So, I mean, they had enough, but it's the way they played. And I would say the three key things, I mean, injuries, a factor, not the factor. The paint, so physical were the Pelicans, and the Kings have been priding themselves on being more physical. I didn't think they really attacked it that way. And so the paint, not only what the Pelicans were able to do in the paint, but how the Kings stayed out of it. And really, the 40 points in the paint for the Kings came late in the game. That wasn't paint touches. That wasn't paint touches to spray out threes. They weren't doing what they normally do well, and it just snowballed on them. And the hardest part was because they were so injured, I bet Coach Brown wanted to take Fox, Sabonis, Barnes, Herter out sooner. They didn't have a lot of guys to go to. So their bench got thinner. And then overall, the other part was I didn't think they just played a smart offensive game. Shot selection was bad. They tried to take too many hero shots and hit 4 threes in a row to come back. Well, they would miss 4 in a row. Pelicans would get an easy 2 and a 14-point lead ballooned to 22.
They're making some insane threes too.
They got hot. I mean, but Chris, they were down 41. 41? Man. So now what you have to hope you avoid is what happened in Houston. When the Kings lost in Houston, we all said, all right, no big deal. You lost the first one. They're there. I can't wait to see how they get them the second night. Second night will be better. Watch what they do to the Rockets. Well, that game was worse. I think the matchup's not a great one. I think this, and that's even without CJ McCollum. I think the Pelicans are talented, especially with Zion, but so are the Kings. And let's get one more comment post-game here. Let's hear a little bit from Domantas Sabonis.
It's just a bunch of next man up, next man up and coming out and playing together. That's why we all stay ready. We play long minute games. Everyone's in the facility all day, learning all the plays and getting extra shots up to take advantage of these opportunities.
For you and Fox, as the two all-stars and leaders on this team, do you guys have to, I don't know if do anything different is the right way to put it, but do you have to maybe put a different step forward with your leadership in terms of dealing with some of these things?
Yeah, for sure. We got to come out there and set the tone maybe even earlier. I feel like both of us take these games very serious and put it on our shoulders. But at a point, if the game is at a certain stretch, we got to take another step. But at the same time, you don't want to ruin anything and let the offense marinate and flow, just like how we always have been.
Zion is such a unique physical presence out there offensively when he's just putting his head down and getting to the rim. Are there adjustments or things you can do to make life more difficult on him?
Yeah, for sure. We're going to watch film, and for sure I feel like next game we'll have a different plan, a better plan. Hopefully we'll work a lot more.
I will say this too, as the Kings season, if we look at what they've done this year, the couple times they played the Warriors, they had a much better plan the second time around for Steph Curry. It's got to be a better plan for Zion. It just has to be, or executed better, both, right, for the Kings come Wednesday. All right, we'll talk more about that with the voice of the Kings, the G-Man, Gary Gerald, joining us around 7:45. Also, the Jiffy Lube drive of the game coming up. But when we come back, Fire Wings brings us 3 for Madness. 3 questions, 3 answers. That is next.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long, long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, before question 1, it's all brought to you by our friends at Fire Wings. That might be a good night for Fire Wings for those of you out there. 21 delicious flavors of wings. As I say, they've got 21. I've fallen in love with peanut butter. I get it every time. Peanut butter, Fire Wings. It's money, but try them all if you'd like.
Salt and pepper. You ever have that?
I have, because when Dave, honestly, that's the power of advertising. He said peanut butter. I'm like, okay, Dave, that's sounds weird, sounds crazy. And then I got there, I go, you know what? I got to try it. Love it. That's the one I get every time. So no, I haven't tried. I mean, I know salt and pepper would be good.
Do yourself a favor.
Do it?
Yeah.
Salt and pepper. All right. Chris.
Sounds like Peppa.
Peppa. 21 delicious flavors of wings. Fire Wings. Just wing it. All right. What's question 1?
Did last night's Kings loss feel worse than either of the Rockets' losses in Houston?
No, because I think the cushion of a 6-game win streak helped a lot. And the head scratcher, and I guess where Houston, it was only 2-4. I think a lot of us are going, man, what's going on? And there was maybe a reason behind those without Fox. But this also goes back to, Chris, to that example of, I'd rather lose by 50 than lose a heartbreaker. The heartbreakers, like the loss to the Warriors when Klay Thompson at the game winner, that hurt. Like that hurts you're thinking of 15 plays. Well, if this happened, or they didn't call that foul, or if he had, didn't challenge that, like last night, there's no if. Like they got crushed. You're more, I don't even know if embarrassed. It's like, oh man, well, that's a loss. Let's regroup, get back at it. But no, I don't think last night, because they just won 6 in a row. They've been playing great basketball. Last night was stinky, but, it's not worse than the others. Question 2.
Question 2.
Would you ever attend a holiday sporting event?
So we've got a weekend or a Thursday where you've got 3 football games. Christmas has the 49ers are playing actually Thanksgiving and Christmas this year. There's Christmas basketball. So the only time I worked, it was when the Kings played on Christmas in LA and home against Dallas. I always wondered about that because I've never
in LA. Was that good for you?
Yeah, because I just had Christmas down there with my family down there. So that was cool but it's also weird. I remember the Christmas here at home when the Kings played Dallas. I don't know, for whatever reason. I feel like I always have a great time on Christmas, but it was just a fabulous Christmas for whatever reason. And it was like, man, I'm having a great time. And it was one of the very few times in my life I kind of, whether I audibly said it, Chris, or had the thought, it's like, oh, I have to go to the Kings game. And the Kings were really good then, and they're playing Dallas. But I was kind of bummed to be leaving the family, and we're just having a great Christmas. And then by the time I got into the game, at the game, I'm like, I'm at the Kings game. Like I was happy both ways, but as a fan, I always found that interesting. If I'm eating turkey on Thanksgiving, you're like, man, these Lions fans, they chose to go to the game. But I could picture people making that their family tradition. And I just I've never done that before.
Is it weird? I wouldn't want to go if the Kings are playing on Christmas. I wouldn't want to go to the game at all
because
just the idea of them like losing a heartbreaker and just like, this sucks.
I know they don't have, but what if the Kings were a like Christmas tradition, like the Lions have, or the Cowboys? They're always on Thanksgiving, and if from your childhood to now, they were.
See, then that would be better because I'd be used to the Kings losing on Christmas
winning.
Day.
Yeah, you had both, right? But I guess it's. I don't know if I'm sure there are families in Detroit and in Dallas. It's like, oh, it's Thanksgiving. Like
That's probably like has started with grandpa.
Yeah, like, look, we're doing this first. Turkey's going to be here or after or whatever, and then we're all going to the game, or we're tailgating and having turkey or some sort of Thanksgiving feast. But I've never done it as a fan, and I don't know. I find it odd, but it's been our entertainment at home. Like, I'll have the games on. It doesn't mean I don't watch them, but it's a different thing to pack up the car or however you get to games and spend the day at a sporting event.
In the English Premier League, they have something similar, which is Boxing Day.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first started watching, it was cool because literally every single game was on that day and everyone had a great time. But now they've got to think about TV. So it's like Boxing Day week where all the games are split up. And it's just like, well, you're taking all the fun out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you ever do it as a road game, like a road trip? Hey, Christmas, the Kings are in
New
York playing. I don't know why they would play the Knicks on Christmas, but whatever. It's like, hey, we're going to go to New York for a week, but we're also going to go to. I mean, I think that's about the only way I could see it, but I don't know if it like they were playing the Lakers or the Warriors or Suns or something. Hey, let's head to Phoenix for Christmas. That seems like that would be weird as a family.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. All right, but people do it. We know they have. If you're out there, let us know on our text line, certainly on our YouTube. All right, question number 3.
Question 3.
Do you have a traditional Thanksgiving movie that you watch as a family?
Now, let me ask you this. You're our movie expert, Chris, I would say. Is there a classic, but people go define a Christmas movie. We don't need to get into that, like Die Hard and all that, whatever. But there's a handful of movies that are deemed Christmas movies. Are there Thanksgiving movies?
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
That's how you would classify that one?
Yeah.
Others? Like, I don't feel like there's a list. Maybe things are themed around it, but I don't know. Like, do you have one? Does your family watch anything consistently on Thanksgiving?
No. But my favorite Thanksgiving movie is this movie called The Oath.
What is that?
Is
it scary?
It's a thriller.
You and your
No,
thrillers.
it's like it's not like there's like a killer out there. It's nothing like that.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think. Ike Barinholtz, do you know who he is?
Yeah.
And Tiffany Haddish.
Okay.
So
wait, I'm surprised I haven't heard of this. Okay.
So they're married and they're bringing their families for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And it's the whole thing of like, don't talk politics at the table. But at the same time, in the United States, there's this thing called the oath where everyone is expected to take it, but you're not really supposed to. It's like, oh, you're not being forced to, but everything good happens if you do. And there's a bunch of bad things that happen if you don't take it.
Gotcha.
So then there becomes this huge argument about it. And it's hilarious. It's a really funny movie.
Well, and I'm also trying to even think like, I know that, TBS will show, is a TBS that shows Christmas Story on a loop on Christmas. But I don't even know if there's something that's consistently played on Thanksgiving besides the line, like sporting events. Like, can you think of something that, hey, every Thanksgiving this is always on? I guess.
Don't they have some sort of Thanksgiving Day parade?
Yeah. I guess people could do that, but I'm thinking more line of like movies that are always on. Now, maybe they'll start showing some Christmas movies and maybe some things that have some or even family themes. I mean,
so as a kid, I would always watch Thanksgiving night. I would watch Muppets Christmas Carol for the first time.
Okay, you really like that movie.
Love that movie.
I mean, doesn't Home Alone start to be shown again around Thanksgiving? Yeah. So I mean, that might be on now, but I don't know that I have we don't. I would say this: we've never really had a Thanksgiving theme. Like, hey, everybody, get around the TV to watch this movie. It's mainly family time, food. One of our traditions used to be and I told you, Chris, before, and Dave knows this, that when my in-laws, it's gumbo is one of the big feasts that we have besides all the other stuff, the regular traditional Thanksgiving deal. First time I had that, though, I wasn't an in-law yet. I was just a boyfriend, I guess, and didn't know. I'm like, well, you got to be respectful. I go, maybe this is just the meal. And so I had like 3 bowls of gumbo, just mashed. And then, like, here comes 2 turkeys and stuff. Like, everything came out like, oh, what did I do?
Okay, weirdo, party of one.
Yeah, it was. But what we started to do too is then it was like, street football or go to the park, like try to get some exercise. But do you have any other Thanksgiving traditions with your group?
No. Like I think I've said before, in like on my mom's side of the family, like Thanksgiving was basically everyone go to your the other family,
Mhm.
and then Christmas we all come together.
Gotcha. That's good.
Like we'd have a couple of Thanksgivings together, but not that many.
Here we go. What do you think about these, Chris? We usually watch Goonies on Thanksgiving, Harry Potter movies. The past 4 years, we have watched A Christmas Horror Story.
I know you like
as
Harry Potter.
as a family. So A Christmas Horror Story.
I have never heard of that.
Okay. Stuff to watch. Thank you for the input. We will check it out. We do want to wish everybody an early happy Thanksgiving. All right, when we come back, another week of NFL action has come and gone. We've got NFL overreactions after week 11, or are they overreactions? We'll react to that and more next on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis. Put the frosting on the cake. Put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. We're looking at a cool start to the day. A few clouds will fill in this afternoon, but overall mostly sunny. Plan for highs to peak in the mid-60s. You can get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Winter's coming, so let's kick off the cold season right and get your heater all tuned up. Now just $79. No matter how cold it gets outside, you'll always be warm and toasty inside. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit. What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Rizep, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
It's the season of performance event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Also coming up later in the show, I don't know if you've had a chance yet, but we had a new show debut a few weeks ago, the True Sports Card Show. Imran Pralati is the host of that, owner of the True Sports Cards shop out in kind of the Roseville, Lincoln, Granite Bay, Roseville area. He'll explain it better than I am. But he's going to come in. We're going to have a visit with him, kind of talk about the show that's now on the weekends and some other things going on in his business, his industry that all relates to sports as well. So we look forward to that around 9:30. And still to come to in about 15 minutes. Make sure you're listening in for your chance to win the Jiffy Lube drive of the game if you can identify the last night's drive of the game in just a rough game for the Kings. But we will have that.
I know we can't, but I feel like you should almost get 2 gift certificates.
I know. It does feel like an extra bonus because if you stuck with that game and, Gman will join us too after that segment, after we intro that. But it was a tougher one for him to get to last night, that's for sure, based on the Kings and their performance. But another week of football has happened. We've had 11 weeks in. Man, it's flying by. So it's time on a Tuesday for NFL overreactions. Very dramatic. So, Chris, you've got a couple of potential overreactions, or maybe not overreactions, some statements here after 11 weeks. What you got?
The Eagles are Super Bowl favorites.
You said that very dramatically. Is that an overreaction? Not an overreaction. Gosh, it's really close. I'm going to say it's not an overreaction. Based on record, I'd like to see them play better for longer stretches of games or more dominant, because I said this earlier, I still think the best version of the 49ers is the best team in the NFL. Now, some of the statistics right now that are supporting what the Chiefs are doing defensively should concern a lot of people if their offense gets rolling, but when you've got Patrick Mahomes, it feels like you've always got a chance. Now, the Eagles, it feels like that's kind of the group of 3 teams that can do this whole thing, but the Eagles just keep winning, and sometimes it's not always the prettiest. Yesterday it's pretty nice, though. Down 10 on the road in Kansas City, tough place to play, bad weather conditions. That was nice. So, yeah, I said it's not an overreaction as the Chiefs.
I would say it's an overreaction.
You do?
Yeah.
Because?
I mean, they only have 1 loss.
Right.
But that loss was to?
Who was the loss to?
The Jets.
Oh, that's right. Did that cost you, by the way? Was that one of your teams in the Survivor? Who knocked you out?
Who did knock me out? I'll have to go back and look. I don't think it was that. It might have been. No,
I don't think it was.
That was pretty early on.
Yeah. All right. What's our second statement here?
The hottest team in the NFL, the Denver Broncos, will make the playoffs.
I feel like that's an overreaction. Good for them, though, by the way, to restore order. Not easy to do. I mean, if you look at what Denver has done from where they were, Denver's had the most unique season, I would say, at this point. They've played 10 games and they're 5-5. Lost by 1 to the Raiders to start the year. Lost by 3 to the Commanders. Week 3, lost by 50, 70-20. Found a way to beat the Bears. Lost at home to the Jets. Lost to the Chiefs. So there they are sitting at 1-5 with a 3-point win against the Bears. And they had to kind of come back to do that. The Bears gave them that game. Then they found a way to beat the Packers. Best win was beating the Chiefs, 24-9. Won at Buffalo and just beat the Vikings. I mean, it's really an amazing story. They're in second place in the AFC West. But all that said, there's so much competition in the AFC for those wild card spots. I would say that's an overreaction. Kudos to Sean Payton for kind of getting them out of this. Russell Wilson has played much better, but no.
You nailed it.
What?
The Eagles took me out against the Jets.
It was the Eagles?
The only loss they've had this season.
Now you hate the Eagles.
I can't stand them.
All right, what's next?
Travis Kelce is the greatest tight end of all time.
It's getting close, but I'd say, no, that's an overreaction. But I also want guys to finish their career. There's a lot of stories coming out yesterday about how Travis Kelce, how much he's been thinking about retirement. I don't know. Gronk is one of the greats of all time. Tony Gonzalez is one of the greats of all time. You just kind of want but he's on the list. I just wouldn't say is with definitive nature that he is the best of all time, but he's absolutely fabulous. So I'd say overreaction. Need some more time on that. What's next?
The Dallas Cowboys' only wins this season have been against teams with a losing record. Dallas should not be considered a threat in the NFC.
You know what? I think this is an overreaction. Now, I don't like the losses that Dallas has had. Obviously, we know what they did to the 49ers, or what the 49ers did to them. Absolutely steamrolled them. They also have the weird loss to the Cardinals, and their other loss was actually very competitive against the Philadelphia Eagles. So I think to just dismiss them and do the blanket statement is like, I don't care if Dallas finishes 13-4, they're going to fail in the playoffs. They have failed in the playoffs, and the past doesn't necessarily mean the exact same thing is going to happen. It is a talented team. Deron Bland, former Sac State Hornet, by the way. I know he went to Fresno State at the end, but he's having an amazing season with pick sixes. And there is a lot of talent offensively. Defense is good with Micah Parsons and Deron Bland and everyone else they've got back there. It is a good football team. I don't think they should be treated that cavalierly, like, oh, they're just nothing. It's only the Niners or Eagles that can win the NFC. Look, if the Cowboys play well, they can do it. It's just that's the question. Where will they self-destruct? What will go wrong? Will Dak shrink in a big game? Things like that have happened before aren't guarantees to happen. But if they do, then they'll get that same old label that Dallas isn't a threat. I think they're a threat. I think they should be taken seriously. But look, the Cowboys are at the spot where they've got to prove it, and they've been unable to do that so far. All right, what else do we have in NFL overreactions?
The 49ers will go 3-0 in their upcoming schedule gauntlet of Seahawks, Eagles, and Seahawks?
Again. Seahawks. I think that's a big ask for the 49ers to do. 2 of those are on the road in Seattle on Thanksgiving, just a couple days, and in Philly. I mean, to think that they could get all 3, I would say that's an overreaction. As much as I'm a believer in this team, as much as I think this team is going to win the Super Bowl, the short week this week, finding out about Talanoa Hufanga and his injury, the Seahawks are banged up too, and even talking to Matt Barrows yesterday, how difficult it is to play in Seattle, how much the 49ers players love to play there because of the atmosphere and the energy. But Seattle's got a lot to play for in those 2 games, and Philly's just a good football team. I know the Niners have had that game circled. You could just even see maybe a let up somewhere around the 3. So if I'm predicting, I'm saying they might go 2-1. I don't know the order of that. I just think that's a big hill to climb to win all 3 of those. They're very, very capable of it. There's no doubt the Niners can do it. But if I'm guessing, and that's all I'm doing is predicting, I would say a 2-1 for the 49ers in that stretch. So we would call that just a bit of an overreaction. So you did confirm that, Chris? It was the Eagles that did you in? Yeah. I was out long before that. And it's still going. We still have a few people left in our survivor. And that's the thing. If you can kind of get through about week 4 to 5, it does become easier. I know when people go, well, there's less teams to choose from. True, but you really know who's bad. And you just end up picking against
the tough one is the first couple.
Oh, yeah. So now more people, I'm sure, are picking against teams like who's got the fewest wins? Patriots, pick against the Giants, maybe, the Bears, the Panthers, the Cardinals. I'm sure you can find some sort of formula along the way to just go against those teams. And, if it's the Cardinals, look, the Niners play them twice. If it's the a team like the Bears, well, the Lions almost lost to them, and I'm sure that cost some people. The Giants, the Eagles get them twice. A team like the Patriots, the Dolphins get them twice. So people get tripped up and stopped, but probably get burned by teams that have recovered, like the Broncos, right? I'm sure people started picking against them and got burned by them. When Cincinnati was struggling early on, maybe when the Vikings were looking bad, weren't they 1-4? Now they're 6-5. I'm sure people started to go against some of these teams, especially when Cousins was out. Yeah, but that's how you get eliminated from a survivor pool. All right, break time for us. When we come back, get ready at 1-800-920-1140, 1-800-920-1140 or 339-1140 to identify yesterday's Jiffy Lube drive of the game. If you can do that correctly with the first caller to do so, you will win a Jiffy Lube gift card for $100. That's a great opportunity to get your car ready to go for the upcoming travel week. And the voice of the Kings, the Gman, Gary Gerald, he will join us next.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Don't you just love this time of year and the holidays when families get together to make memories? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. From the time I was a youngster, the family table was always filled with a gathering of grandparents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters. Those are memories that will live with me forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings Holiday Home Sale going on right now gives you the opportunity to find the perfect holiday gift that will last a lifetime. You'll find unique gifts like gleaming accessories for every room, now 20% off. During Naturewood's Holiday Home Sale, you'll find savings all around the store for every room in your home. Find your perfect bit of Christmas for your home at Naturewood Home Furnishings Holiday Home Sale going on right now. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I have terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Carmichael Day.
He's got very good sources and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say. He's good at what he does.
On Sactown Sports.
Congrats are in order. Chris tells me Jake was our winner of our Jiffy Lube drive of the game. We got our guest Gman Gary Gerald standing by. I do want to pay off at least the highlight Jake correctly identified. And Jake didn't give us this first part. This was kind of clever that Gman had last night. Let's let you hear the kind of the lead up to the Jiffy Lube drive of the game yesterday.
I still owe you a Jiffy Lube drive of the game. It may be a hoped-for drive to a nearby restaurant. I don't know what's going to happen here tonight.
Jake didn't tell us that, but he did identify this as our Jiffy Lube drive of the game.
Finds McGee at the left elbow, digs and spins on Zeller, drop step, pivot, behind the back, bounce pass, a thing of beauty, and it is converted down inside by Jalen Slauson, and that has got to be your Jiffy Lube drive of the game. Be listening to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross tomorrow morning at 7:45. Your chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area.
Well, as we bring in the Gman, Jake stuck with it. Gman, I think it was 118.79 at that point. Wow, you've called some great games here lately, Gman, with the Kings on this hot run. Last night was out of character. That was ugly, wasn't it?
Well, it certainly was, Jason. It was more than ugly, and it's. You wonder, why did this happen? Was it because it was the first back-to-back and with travel? How much did that contribute to it? But it was just, it was totally out of sorts for what we've come to expect over the last couple of weeks from the Kings. And it was tough to digest, no question.
Yeah, I thought that second quarter is where it derailed. Like the Kings were battling. They started terribly, but, to their credit, they were back up by 2 after 1. And then that second quarter, Zion went to work and, G-Man, I know Mike Brown, we played some of the cuts earlier. He's a physical presence that I just think the Kings had no answer for his physical nature in the paint.
Somebody goes for 20 points in a quarter, they've got something special going. And the thing about Zion was that virtually every play was the same. It was downhill. It was the left side of the lane. It was high and soft off the glass. For a guy, as we mentioned repeatedly, that of his size, he's listed at 285 pounds. And yet he's just so graceful, so fluid. And he was at his absolute stellar best in that second quarter, no question.
The other thing that came out of this game, and we didn't get a lot of information post-game, and I don't know if there's any more word now, but we knew about the injuries coming in. It was good to get Kevin Huerter back, but Keon Ellis, Sasha was out already to go with Len and Lyles, and then to hear about Murray, a surprise departure in the second half, and then we saw Duarte leave the game. Any other word on the status of kind of those in-game injuries yesterday?
No, not at all. Late last night, after the game, I saw Keegan standing outside the locker room talking with some acquaintances, and then, he was walking rather well. It didn't appear to be in any great discomfort. But no word, and I'm sure he'll be getting treatment throughout the day today. But that's one of those things that is I think, legitimate concern to the Kings. And it's not just the fact that it's Keegan. It's like you were saying, when you've got, Lyles is still out. Alex Len's going to be out for a few more weeks. Ellis, Duarte, Vezenkov. I mean, it's just they're starting to stack up, and you wonder what kind of impact that will have on disrupting the rhythm. You wonder what kind of an impact it'll have on De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, because they're the two cornerstones, and every defense loads against those guys. And I've noticed in the last few games, Sabonis in particular is getting more and more attention in the post, and opposing teams are doing everything they can. Frequently, there are 3 defenders that collapse on him, trying to just get him out of his rhythm, trying to body him, hack him, whatever, frustrate him. And we noticed different times last night when there were double-team blitzes on Fox, trying to force him to give up the basketball. So those things certainly come into play in my mind, as these injuries, they may not be totally severe or super significant, but it is disruptive. There's no question about it. And you've got to find a way to respond to it. So I think we're all anxious to see what happens tomorrow night. I remember being in Houston a couple of weeks ago after the Rockets spanked the Kings in the first of 2 games, had a day off in between, and we were stunned when Houston came out and, if anything, was even more effective in the second game. And you wonder, okay, what's going to happen to the Kings as they face the Pelicans again tomorrow?
Yeah, and that one, I mean, maybe the logic was, hey, De'Aaron's not here, and, you're going to have to play without good players at times. But this one, you got your studs, your stars, and I'm anxious to see how they respond because, Yeah, the Pelicans, once they grabbed that lead yesterday, G-Man, in that second quarter, I mean, they never slowed down, and then Ingram really got going in that third quarter.
Well, he did. He had 18 points, if I remember correctly, in the third quarter. So when you've got players of that magnitude who are capable of putting up those kind of numbers, and then you've got nice complementary pieces around it, Willie Green had those guys playing well. And when you look at their last three games before last night, they had a win against Denver, the defending champions. They also had a win against the Dallas Mavericks in very decisive fashion, beat the Mavs by 21. And then they lost last Saturday to Minnesota, a 1-point game where they had the lead into the fourth quarter but couldn't sustain it down the stretch. So they're playing some pretty good basketball right now. And as we all know, everybody is capable of having big nights in the Western Conference. It's just a grind. And I don't think that there's any surprise that there'll be some adversity. You'll stub your toe, but I don't think anybody saw that lopsided of a defeat for the Kings going into that game last night.
Yeah, Kings at one point trailed by 41. Talking to the voice of the Kings, the G-Man, Gary Gerald. G-Man, so just you personally, do you like this opportunity to be in the same city for a couple of days? It's abnormal. You guys had that in Houston, as you mentioned earlier, with 2 games over 3 days, about 4 days in Houston. You're getting that same kind of time in New Orleans. How do you like that? How do you think the players like being kind of hunkered down for a couple of days?
I like it a lot myself. I just think it makes really good sense. And we're seeing a little more of that each season from the league schedulers. And, I guess the only thing that you could say is, well, you're denied a second opportunity later in the season to come back to one of the cities, be it Houston, be it New Orleans, whatever. If it happens to be one of your favorite stops, that's disappointing in that sense. But I like it. And it's a nice change of pace. Because it was a back-to-back, the first of the season for Sacramento, this is a day off. And so who knows what the players will be doing and kind of, sitting back and licking their wounds, or how do you look at it? I don't know. I can't answer that from a player's standpoint, but I know that I like it. And I think that it's kind of interesting to see the second game, what kind of tweaks and changes will be made, and whether or not you can become more successful. If the Kings do get a split of these 2 games, that ensures them of the fact that they're going to have a winning road trip. And anytime you go on the road and you win more than you lose, it's a good trip in my mind.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing that I remember you saying years ago when the Kings were really a threat to be a championship team, we're talking early 2000s, you said one of the things you enjoyed the most was that you could go into any building and feel like the Kings could win and would win. And that didn't happen every night, but just that feeling. How close are you getting to that with really the way that Fox and Sabonis are playing on a nightly basis? I know it's a tougher question to ask after last night, but how often do you walk into an arena now going, yeah, Sacramento's got a really good chance to win tonight?
Toward the latter part of the season, I was starting to get that feeling for the first time in a couple of decades. Basically, it had been a long time, and initially this year it was kind of a rocky, you didn't quite know how things were beginning to play out, and then that experience in Houston didn't do much to help. We have since found out that the Houston Rockets under Ime Udoka are playing some really good basketball, and they're making life tough for everybody they face. So I don't think the Kings are at that spot right now. But man, I sure hope they do continue to do that. And you're right. I think that, with De'Aaron Fox and with Domantas Sabonis, the recognition that they've gotten in terms of being all-stars, all-NBA, team selections, etc. The downside is there's more spotlight focused on them, and defenses are loaded to try to make their night difficult. But if you're going to be, as Mike Brown frequently says, if you want to go from good to great, you have really got to work hard, and you've got to bring it every night. And it's so much of a cliche that I just hate hearing it, but you have to value every possession. And I remember over the years, Jerry Reynolds, that was frequently one of the things that he would talk about. And, a possession early in the game is just as significant as a possession late in the game. if you don't execute, if you don't do the things that are expected of you, you pay a price. Well, you don't want to put yourself in a position where that can cost you in a tight game down the stretch. So I think the Kings are, kind of on the threshold of inspiring that kind of confidence. I don't think they're there fully just yet.
Yeah, that good to great is a significant jump, even though it may not seem like it is. I think it's happened, though, G-Man, with Fox. I know last night, again, take that out, but he's a reigning Western Conference Player of the Week. Every night, he's in such control of this game. I've been saying he's a superstar. How much fun is it to call and describe what he's doing on a nightly basis?
Terrific. And, we all appreciate De'Aaron and the fact that after the win in Dallas, we were able to get him on the postgame show. And, sometimes those things you just, they just don't happen easily because radio is down the line in terms of opportunities to get, some of the heroes. But being able to talk to him and to hear how earnest he is about what he does and what he's striving to do, and just knowing De'Aaron as we have come to know him over the years, I really think that this is a special young man. And I know that Mike Brown has really been beating the drum about, he is a legitimate MVP candidate. Well, you would look at last night's performance and you see 14 points and you say, well, I don't know about that. But when you look at the overall piece of work, Fox has just been sensational. And I felt bad for him because, just hours before the game, he's recognized as the Western Conference Player of the Week. And then last night he couldn't make a 3-point shot to save his soul. And as hard as he has worked on that, and you may have seen on social media, his wife, Rasay, was crediting Luke Laux for all of the diligent effort over the course of the offseason and helping De'Aaron become so much more effective and efficient in 3-point shooting. And last night to see him go 2 for 12, man, if I know Fox, I know he's just mentally beating himself up, but he's always a confident player, and he'll keep shooting them. Let's just hope they start falling again, like soon.
G-Man, I know you get a couple days in New Orleans. A lot of people are asking on our YouTube feed and our text line about, and that's a great food city. So they want to know what some of your favorite stops are, what you're going to be consuming food-wise there in New Orleans over the next couple days.
Well, yesterday at the team brunch, they had some really good gumbo. I'm not the biggest gumbo person, but I latched onto some of that. And then last night, post-game, they had a nice layout, Cajun Creole type food from one of the local restaurants. And I brought up, a couple of packs back to the hotel and had a nice little feast afterwards. And that helped relieve some of the stress of losing the game. I don't have any particular, singular favorites, but I don't know. I haven't really given it a lot of thought. It's usually just kind of play it by ear.
Yeah.
I would imagine I'll probably go across the street to visit Harrah's.
Yeah.
That's always a standard stop when you have time in New Orleans. And this is silly, I know, but they've done away, at least the last time I was there, they don't have the buffets anymore. And I used to enjoy the buffet here.
Yeah.
And they have a hot dog stand. And it's silly, but it's a pretty doggone good hot dog. And I like hot dogs. I like hot dogs. So, it could be a casino dog before the day is over.
Well, we know you'll enjoy your time. We know we'll enjoy your call tomorrow. We hope for better time for the Sacramento Kings tomorrow. G-Man, thank you for joining us as always. We look forward to talking to you tomorrow for the pregame show, and enjoy your time in New Orleans.
Thanks, Jason. We will do our best to do that. And here's hoping that we'll see a more competitive ball game tomorrow night.
Yeah, for sure. We need that. Thank you. That's the great G-Man, Gary Gerald there. Our appreciation to him for joining us for a few moments this morning from New Orleans. When we come back, the 8 o'clock hour, we've got more on that Kings-Pelicans game. We'll hear from Mike Brown. Also, Sean Salsbury joins us in the next hour. All that and more coming up on Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted, ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner.
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. We're looking at a cool start to the day. A few clouds will fill in this afternoon, but overall mostly sunny. Plan for highs to peak in the mid-60s. You can get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let us fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $97. Bonnie, plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long, long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-11.
Party of one.
Jason?
How are you?
Good, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You have turkey?
Being it's Thanksgiving. Being it's Thanksgiving. Let's give a little thanks to the Gman. How wonderful it is to have that guy for all these years as the voice of the King.
Absolutely.
And just his personality. He's top professional,
Yep.
right? With everything he does and his voice and his knowledge of the game, it's phenomenal. And, you know, I grew up as a Niner fan, got to listen to the great Joe Starkey, and it's a voice I always have loved as a kid, and then grew up and got to meet him once or twice. But the G-Man just represents everything about the Kings and all of that that's good. And I'm so glad that we're back to being good. So he gets to enjoy these years, obviously, you know, traveling and seeing some good quality basketball. So it's just a thankful call because he's awesome. I know you get to work with him, and he brings up your game. Let's face it, you know,
and I need it.
Player brings up. Yeah, you do need it sometimes. I won't lie about that.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
You got Chris Fallot there having to push buttons, and I'm sure he brings up his game too.
Yes, he
So,
elevates all of us.
Yes, he does. That's what a great player does, right? Brings up the rest of his team. But serious thanks to the G-Man. We need one tomorrow. God, that was ugly yesterday. But, you know, that's why they play 82, right?
That's right.
So,
thank you, JR. Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, you too, brother. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you. There's JR. I mean, that was just a thankful call from JR. We appreciate
That's like
it.
his best call that he's ever had.
I know. And I like the zany JR. That was like the loving and serious and appreciative JR.
I will add to what JR said about G-Man.
Yeah.
And this doesn't sound like a compliment, but it really is. He does such a good job of making a terrible game listenable.
He does, and that's not
He's
easy.
had a lot of practice at it, though.
It's not easy, and he is a 100. I mean, I don't know any other way. JR said he's a professional. He cares about his craft. Cares about this team, cares about the city, and he gets the love back that he deserves. But he just needs to be acknowledged and appreciated and loved. Just an incredible human being, too, by the way. I mean, G-Man, just love him. And, yeah, I'm glad they're winning again. And I know he had so much fun last year watching that team make the run that they did, getting to the postseason. And it's more fun for all of us, Chris. Like, we want the Kings to win. And, you know, last night stunk, but at least it's more palatable knowing that, hey, they just came off a 6-game win streak and it's so funny to go through these flows. After they lost the 2 in Houston, I literally looked at the schedule and went, well, I mean, man, the Cavs are coming in, the Lakers, like OKC. I mean, Victor Wembanyama. Is this going to get to like 7 or 8 in a row? Like, you start to think that way, and then when they win 1, 2, like, who's going to beat them? No one's going to beat the Kings. They're going to win out. It's just we're funny as
in
fans.
our 3 in the key, I'm just like, oh, they're going to win by so much. They're going to take Fox out early.
Exactly. And then last night, yes. I mean, last night was bad. Everything about it was bad. They got outplayed. They got worked. But I think it is more palatable, as we said, after winning 6 in a row before that. Injuries a concern a little bit last night. Let's get more on that. We're going to hear some reaction from the head coach, Mike Brown, who starts this by being asked about the health of some of those guys that got hurt last night.
No, I haven't talked to anybody about the injuries yet.
They all seem to be sort of mounting here, at least early on in the season, and you mentioned last year how sort of fortunate you were to avoid dealing with injuries. Just what type of challenge do all these injuries stacking up pose your team on?
Next man has to step up. We got to do it collectively, and didn't matter who was in the game from the start to the end. They kicked our behind. You got to give them credit. From Willie Green, kicked right behind on down. We did not show any resistance at all, no matter who we threw out there. So didn't matter who, if we had injuries or not, we weren't getting it done from the beginning. Zion was a grown-ass man tonight, and we had no answers for him at all. Obviously, Brandon Ingram got hot in the second half, but first half, second half, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, we couldn't do anything with Zion tonight. So give them a lot of credit. They did what they were supposed to do.
When it comes to Zion and his unique physical ability, what adjustments can you make to try to prevent him from putting his head down and trying to get to the cup?
Ask him not to play. I don't know. we got to figure it out. You know, we'll go back and watch the film and see why our double teams weren't getting there on time, and see how he split our double teams as easy as he did. You know, you got to give him credit. He's a really good player, very strong, very quick, very athletic, and we were supposed to double team him all night. And I don't think we got to him one time. And if we did get to him, he was going right through our double teams without even blinking.
Keegan does have to miss time. What does this opportunity what could it mean for somebody like Kessler and maybe some of the other guys down the line who haven't gotten to play so much early on?
Well, I mean, it's just like tonight. We had guys hurt. Keegan wasn't the only one that was hurt. Duarte couldn't go back in the game. Keegan couldn't go back in the game. Seemed like 2 or 3 guys couldn't go back in the game. And, when your number's called, you got to step up. You got to perform. Yeah.
All right, there's some comments from Mike Brown. That looked like that was being played in one channel. We're getting some comments here. Maybe not everybody was hearing that properly, so we apologize for that. Basically, the gist of what Mike Brown was saying, as some of you heard, if you did get some of that, we weren't getting comments from everybody on that, but completely worked. Zion was a problem. They got to change game plan, got to change scheme, and then they didn't know that he didn't have an update on the health status of the guys that got hurt, as far as Duarte and certainly on Keegan Murray. Now, that was right after the game, and still at this moment, I haven't heard anything yet coming from the Sacramento Kings. So it was a part of the game, but I'm not going to use that as the difference in why the Kings lost. They got outplayed. They completely got outplayed. Coach said that so much that he gives credit to Willie Green and their playing staff and their coaching staff, the way they played, the way they approached, their ability to – it was played under their terms is probably the best way to say it. And if you watched Kings this year, did that look like the way the Kings normally play? I think New Orleans credit, they got the Kings off their spots. I thought De'Aaron settled for jump shots too much. I think the Kings were afraid to make paint touches and didn't honor that enough. And some of the final numbers as far as points in the paint, 64-40. And in the second quarter alone, when the game flipped, it was 24-2. 24-2 in the paint. So adjustments need to be made by tomorrow's game. I'm sure there will be a film session, as Coach Brown mentioned, for those of you that could hear that audio, and some tweaks around the edges as to what they'll do tomorrow.
It felt like one of those games that we would have when we were playing high school or whatever, where coach was like, hey, you guys come out here, you kill it. No practice tomorrow. You guys got an off day. Like, okay. And then you're like, yeah. And then you just come out and just like stink it up. And
right.
Coach,
just don't have it.
And then like during
Extra
the game,
practice.
coach is just like, well, I don't have to worry about taking tomorrow off, guys.
Yeah. The worst one we ever had in high school, again, now we're telling our high school war stories. We were so bad in a game on the road, and we were taking the bus back, and and nobody's really happy. We lost, whatever. But we got to the school, and coach said, no, keep your stuff on. Like, we went and practiced like right then. Like, and it was one of those things where, sometimes there's like those toughness drills, like me, you, Chris, Jason, line up on the baseline, and they'll roll the ball out. And it's like, basically we have to fight to get to it. And you're like, okay, here we go. It's just basically questioning our toughness. And sometimes those things work. Those drills, like the NBA is a little bit done differently. They know they're talented. Kings know they have a good team. They did not have a good night. Pelicans worked them. Now it's about the adjustment for tomorrow. All right, when we break, we'll come back. We will visit with Sean Salsbury, our weekly check-in with our resident quarterback, Sean Salsbury. He joins us on the other side here on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Nature Wood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Hey, it's Carmichael. Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sactown Sports.
All right, back here on the show, Jason Ross here with you. Carmichael Dave off on this Thanksgiving week. We hope everybody has a great one ahead. A lot of football, a lot of sporting events coming up. Niners in action Thursday night on Thanksgiving against Seattle. Let's bring in our resident QB, Sean Salsbury, joining us here. Sean, it's Jason. How are you today?
I'm good, Jason. Happy Thanksgiving. I appreciate it.
Thanks. You too. Are you a consumer of the food, a maker of the food? What's your Thanksgiving tradition?
All the above.
Yeah.
Depending on my kids, they're a little, older now, and they have other families they go to or see their mother, see me. So we spend a lot of holiday time together. I'm blessed with all three of them. My oldest is a phenomenal chef, and when he throws down, he does. But I'm doing cooking this year, and I did, him and I have both in the past. So I love it, from turkey to how I make a jalapeno cream corn and the green bean 4 cheese. And I got a lot of different stuff. So I love the preparation, getting up at like 5 a.m. and getting after it. I'm big on this holiday because I love family and there's no pressure of gift giving. It's just people laughing, sports, football, great food, and then more great food, more great food. So, yeah, I'll cook it, eat it, and keep cooking it and eating it and having a great day and mix a little bit of everything. And I love the spread. It was my dad's favorite holiday,
Nice.
So I carry it over too. So I love it. I love the holiday season. I get a little bit cheesy and I'm into all of it. So I love it.
Well, Chris and I looked at each other when you were describing some things you're making. Like, hey, maybe there's 2 more seats at the Salisbury house.
There's always room for you guys and anybody who wants to join. Of course, if you were in town, I would invite you over. No question about it.
That's awesome. Did you ever play on Thanksgiving Day?
That game when I was in Seattle, my rookie year, we had a Thanksgiving Day game. I'm pretty sure it was Seattle. And I'm trying to think if I had any more Thanksgiving Day. I don't think so. We had like a Labor Day game in CFL and stuff, but on Thanksgiving Day, I think just one time early in my career. I know once, but I don't think there was any more on that particular day. I think we played Christmas Eve before. That might have been the only day that fell on that exact holiday.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, I know every NFL player hates the short week, the Thursday. I mean, it's just you guys all need the extra time to get ready, but then also playing on the holiday. I just can't imagine the distractions of either side, being at home where you're still going to have some sort of feast, or being on the road trying to get back for that. I mean, it's what you guys do as athletes, but that's got to be a huge challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I remember in college, too, we played a bowl game in Hawaii. It was the Aloha Bowl at the time. And I think we woke up, I think the big game was on Christmas Day. We played, it was weird waking up on Christmas Day in 85-degree weather and playing football, but it was still cool. And I think the difference, and it's a great point, from every Thursday night there being a game, because when I was playing, we had the Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football is into play at times, and Thursday was the special day. You were playing on that Thursday game. It was special. You knew your peers were watching. You go back home and you get the dinner after. So it made the delay of Christmas Day, if you were playing in that game, or on Thanksgiving Day for this holiday, it made it really cool because you knew everybody was sitting around eating and eyes were on you. And I think sometimes maybe we've flooded it so much. You're right. You want more time off, but you didn't really care if it was Thanksgiving Day and you only got one time to do it because you felt it was like when you got Monday Night Football as an honor, right? So it's like, man, we're playing the Cowboys. The fellas are going to be watching and all their families. But now I think we've saturated it so much that Thursday, your body's beat up. And I don't know if we look at it as special anymore. That was special because if you weren't playing on a Saturday late season game, which was cool, or a Sunday, and didn't have a Monday night game, Thursday was your way of being rewarded. And you felt like it was a special, special day. I'm not sure we feel that way about Thursday night anymore, but I still think the Thanksgiving Day game, because it's on during the day, means a lot to us. And I know it did to our players when we played.
Sean Salsbury joining us, the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Sean, what were your takeaways from what was really a good game last night, the Monday night game between the Chiefs and the Eagles?
That they're not going away, that when you think about the final 4 teams probably, or at least if they continue to do well. Now, they missed. The Chiefs got to quit laying the ball on the ground. Their receivers have got to make more plays, and that was a big reason why they didn't get to close it out last night. But I think for me, it's the Chiefs' defense too that's elevated. I don't think the Chiefs' offense is as devastating as it used to be, but when you got Mahomes and Kelsey, you still got Andy Reid. you're going to be in every game, and they're spectacular when necessary. But I actually think the defense's times for them has stepped up with pressure, and they're playing better. When you can hold Philadelphia down, you're going to win most of those 21-point games. You just are. But I think Philadelphia's the best team, and I think you can make an argument like Kansas City, Baltimore in the AFC. But I think that when we get to late January, both are going to be playing mid to late January. I think Philadelphia and Kansas City will still both be in it. I don't see a repeat this year, although with 15, you always got a chance. But I thought it was physical. I thought they got after it. And it was, I liked it because it wasn't 48-45, which is fun to watch. But we saw two teams.
Did we lose Sean there? We might have lost Sean for a moment there.
Both play again in February.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this, I do believe that Philadelphia is the best team in football right now.
Yeah, and so when you played the position, obviously you make, 20, 30, 40 throws in a game. A receiver's going to help you. A receiver's going to bail you out of a bad throw, makes a great catch. How about when you had the throw that you dropped in there perfectly like Mahomes did to Valdez-Scantling? Sure, he dropped it. It does happen. Did you ever find that you lost faith in a guy that might have dropped a pass for you that you just got to make that connection?
Nah, you know why? Now, there's times when you're working in practice, or some guys just maybe don't catch it in like between the hash marks. They operate outside the numbers better. I think that when you get to that level, especially if you watch them work and you know how hard a guy's. Now, if I had a guy who wasn't putting time in, had trouble catching the ball or consistent and wasn't out working on his game, or mentally was running the wrong route, that would piss me off more. If you're mentally not into the game and you're running the wrong route, can't line up right after all, 3/4 of the way through a season or halfway, you're like, wait a minute, we've been doing this long. It tells me you're not thinking right. You're not doing the lonely work. The physical mistakes, the reason why, they bother you because you don't want to make them. We've all made them. That I'm not the guy who's pointing at a guy and getting all frustrated, because guess what? There is going to be a time when he's open and you're going to overthrow him by a half a yard when it should have been a touchdown. That's on you as a quarterback. So I can handle physical mistakes as long as the mental dedication and devotion and they're getting after it and preparing. They're going to happen. Listen, he'll catch that ball 9 times out of 10 or more, and you're going to miss some throws. So it was, if you're not preparing hard and putting yourself football IQ in position to win, then I would have had a problem with it. But those things happen, and I didn't lose confidence. Now, if it happens 4 times, 3 weeks in a row, you're probably thinking somebody else in a clutch moment. But when I can remember Chris Carter. I hit him down the middle on a bender throw, which the middle of the field was open in a playoff game. Chris is as sure-handed as anybody that's ever played the game. Chris was running in to score, and it was a playoff game against the Giants, and he swung the ball, and it came down and hit his own knee and fumbled inside the red zone, and they recovered. We ended up losing the playoff game, but how am I going to get mad at Chris Carter? 8 million catches, clutch catches, bailed me out plenty of times on throws that shouldn't have been caught. The physical mistakes happen. If you're not mentally preparing correctly because you're lazy and you're not doing your work, that part bothered me more than any physical mistake. But I know this, you can't keep physically dropping it and expect the quarterback to trust you in situations. But 1 or 2 times, I think you go back to him to rebuild that trust, because you're going to need Valdez-Scantling down the stretch.
The news today, Sean, that Pittsburgh fires their offensive coordinator, Matt Canada. It's week 11. What does that do, or what can that do for Pittsburgh? What kind of tweaks and adjustments do they have to make now?
Well, I think that if you are, and you cut out there, you said you're talking about Kansas City. Is that what you said?
No, sorry, that Pittsburgh cut.
The Steelers with Matt Canada.
Yeah.
You said, I heard the Canada, and then I went back. Yeah, you know what? The adjustments, sometimes, and you saw it with Ken Dorsey in Buffalo, they fired him. Their offense elevated. Sometimes that initial feeling of, okay, let's see if the next guy, if you're conservative, you know what the next guy's going to do, be more aggressive. If you're a conservative play caller or aggressive play caller, the next guy play closer to the vest. It's usually the way it works, but I think the guy now, it's your chance to prove and shine and add some flair to it, no matter who you are in Buffalo or now with Matt Canada. I don't like to see guys get fired, but it's part of the business. And I think this was probably 8 games too late. Even going into the season, people were questioning it. Mike Tomlin gave them every opportunity. It just didn't click. It didn't click with the quarterback. It hasn't clicked with the offense. They are not good. It's amazing they're 6-4. And Matt Canada knows X's and O's, but the play calling rhythm was just never there for them in Pittsburgh. It had to happen for them to move forward. It sucks for him, but he'll be fine. It's football. You know these things. But they can't do any worse. The next guy cannot. I feel like you can almost walk in off the streets and get 200 yards offense.
Yeah.
You should be able to. So it's a bummer for him. But you know what? The Pittsburgh Steelers, for the betterment of their football team, they had to. And I knowing Mike Tomlin, this isn't an I confess he did it. He's blaming it on him. It's taken long enough. Mike could have been justified doing this 2 months ago, but he stuck with him and gave him a chance to play out of it, and he never did. The Steelers had to move on if they want to get better offensively.
Sean, I know with 3 games on Thanksgiving, people with your app, I mean, are we busy all through this week? Tell us a little bit about that app.
Yeah, I we'll find out. I hope that and I know they will be in the 3 games, and they will be on the app and up and going, and I couldn't be more grateful, because if all our teams said, we're not going to do shows, or we're not going to do a media cast during Thanksgiving, I, as the president of the company, would say, I don't blame you. Go eat your ass, eat it out, eat everything you want, drink it all. Don't worry about it. But we have such great people. They're going to provide you with the great shows and also eat. So I'm blessed to be a part of a great team. Go get that app, the PSF Pro Sports Fans app. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Well, Sean, thank you for joining us. We look forward to talking to you next week. Happy Thanksgiving. Sounds like you got a feast coming your way. Enjoy your family time and football, and we talk to you next week.
Always an honor and a blessing. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too, and all your great listeners. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks.
All right, thank you. That's the great Sean Salsbury joining us. Really good insight, too, on quarterback play and what's going on, and even Thanksgiving, playing on the holiday, a unique wrinkle that the Niners will experience this week. When we come back, 4 down territory. That is straight ahead here on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. We're looking at a cool start to the day. A few clouds will fill in this afternoon, but overall mostly sunny. Plan for highs to peak in the mid-60s. You can get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every lower-price certified pre-owned Honda is one we'd buy from ourselves. See our selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wings Day Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from in the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
I always approach the holidays with a sense of excitement and a time to be with family. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa for Naturewood Home Furnishings. For me, the best times were when there were 3 generations all celebrating together. Today, we're the grandparents, and the holiday spotlight shines on my grandson. And I hope he'll remember holidays the way his papa does. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create your own kind of holiday memories during their holiday home sale. Unique gifts found only at Naturewood, like hall trees, curios, chairside tables, and more, are available at savings of 20% off. During Naturewood's holiday home sale, you'll find savings all around the store for every room in your home. Find your perfect bit of Christmas for your home at Naturewood Home Furnishings Holiday Home Sale going on right now. The memories you make with your family will live with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
It's the season of performance event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
It's time now for the Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Home Services. For all your roofing and solar needs, visit acrhomeservices.com. Well, the 2-game win streak under interim head coach Antonio Pierce came to an end Sunday in Miami for the Silver and Black. Part of the issue, Aiden O'Connell threw 3 interceptions, including the second one to Jalen Ramsey late in the game, keeping the Silver and Black from coming back. Another issue, Josh Jacobs, just 14 carries for 39 yards. Silver and Black now 5-6. That's your Silver and Black report. Let ACR Home Services be your one-stop shop for all your home needs, starting with unbeatable roofing services. Right now, get a new roof and receive $1,000 off that roof. So sign up today and save with no payment for up to 12 months. And ACR is more than just a roofing company. Whether it's roofing, solar, electrical work, you name it, when you choose ACR Home Services, you're not just getting a contractor, you're partnering with a team that's invested in your satisfaction. That's ACR Home Services.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
No beam lighting last night. Kings worked by the Pelicans 129-93. We talked with the voice of the Kings, the Gman, Gary Gerald, earlier in the show. Anything you ever missed on the show, go back to SactownSports.com. Show ends up podcast up there if you want to listen to this, or the afternoon show, midday show, any shows. We got podcasts up there too for you. Anything you ever miss, articles, content, really, there's lots of good stuff there. Our team is working hard, and we hope you appreciate all that, the work they're putting in. So check it out there on SactownSports.com. Still to come, we got Who's Hot and Who's Not. We'll recap our 3 in the key from yesterday, which I imagine was pretty ugly. Niners at 9 coming up at the top of the hour. Do the Niners appear again in our top 5? Well, they won't be in the bottom 5, but we have that. And still we'll hear from De'Aaron Fox in post-game reaction to, I would say, his worst game. I didn't like De'Aaron's game, but I spent 2 segments yesterday going, he's a superstar. He's a stud. He's the best player the Kings have had in a long, long time, maybe ever. And he didn't have his best game, but didn't lose any faith in him by any means. De'Aaron's an absolute superstar. Glad he's a King, and look forward to see his bounce back as this season rolls along. But let's do it, Chris. It's time for 4 Down territory. All right, what you got for us on first down?
Was last night a Super Bowl preview between the Chiefs and the Eagles?
Well, it definitely was the rematch.
It's a replay.
Yeah, the replay. I just don't think it's going to end up the exact same way again. I mean, I think they're both very worthy of being there, but to have the exact same teams back in is rare. It doesn't happen that often. And just because of football, the postseason, one game, an injury, a bad day, a tough call, turnovers, too many factors. So if I'm leaning one way, I would say no. But I also feel like both teams can get there. I just to have both do it together, I just don't see it happening. All right, second down.
Will we ever live in a time where we question the Reid-Mahomes pairing like we now have with Brady and Belichick?
Which would have seemed like a crazy conversation. It's like, oh, Brady, like we've got the greatest quarterback of all time and the greatest coach of all time. Now New England's not winning, and it was Brady. It was Brady. Belichick's a bum. It's like, okay, first off, Belichick's not a bum, but yes, factually, he won all of his winning with Tom Brady. So that seems like a crazy thought. Like, I think Andy Reid's been a good coach. I think he's unreal with Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes is one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen. I think he'd be great without Andy Reid. So I don't think we have to have – I just think they complement each other. You've got 2 guys really good at their jobs, and they happen to be paired together.
Well, I would say that Andy Reid has had success without Mahomes.
Yeah, which Belichick doesn't have that. But I also don't think of Bill Belichick. I think, honestly, my honest opinion on Belichick, I think Bill Belichick, the GM and player personnel guy, has hurt Bill Belichick, the head coach. And so, but I hope we don't get into that spot where if, I don't know, some point Andy Reid will be done, and if Mahomes is still going and won like 4 championships after, he was better without Reid. It's like, okay, they're both good. They're both awesome. Let's just leave it.
Unfortunately, I think them winning the Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill last year gave them the confidence of, we could put anyone in there.
Yeah, it's true. And I feel like their offense I mean, it's Kelsey's amazing, but it's a little bit thin around them. But their defense, they finally got this amazing defense. They should be just this juggernaut. All right, what's third down?
Which Hall of Fame quarterback of the past do you think would even be better in today's NFL?
I mean, obviously, if you're a Hall of Famer, I think you've got the gifts. People throw more now than they ever did before. You know, I always feel like I don't even know if I would say he was underappreciated, because if you get the Hall of Fame, you're incredible. There's two guys I always think of in this area. I thought Warren Moon had just the most absolute cannon, and I just think he would be great at any time. But I feel like Steve Young would be better now.
Yeah, I was thinking him, but now, like, if you go in, because it's like, oh, he was a running quarterback. But
He's just such a great athlete.
But compared his speed then to now,
yeah, would it not look as good?
I think he would be a slow quarterback.
That's interesting because, I mean, Josh Allen is big but fast. Lamar Jackson's fast. Hurts,
like that touchdown that you see all the time of him against the Vikings.
Would he have been tackled like 4 times? But wasn't that a guy you were thinking of with Steve Young?
Yeah, it's someone that could pass and run. Because you almost have to have that now.
Yeah, at least to mobility. Like, I think there's a perception that, hey, you need to be able to run for 50 yards a game. No, I think you need to be able to run to keep plays alive and then get critical first downs or goal line scores or things like that. But I don't know. Steve Young's a guy off the top of my head, but your point is interesting, Chris. I wonder, I mean, I think he's a great athlete. I think he was fast, but was he fast for that time? Not like he's slow, but would he just not be like, oh man, he's blazing. He's faster than these linebackers.
I'm going to have to take a look at his 40.
Put him on the clock. Then or now?
Both.
Okay. All right. Fourth down.
If you had to make a game-saving tackle, who do you think you would have the best chance to take down?
None.
Barry Sanders.
Come on.
Michael Vick or Bo Jackson?
Well, the answer is none of them. But if it was me, if I had to, so I'm really trying to do this logically in the spirit of the question. I think I would have, honestly, zero chance against any of them. But how am I going to do it? You basically, Chris, this would be the hope. Who could I lay down and like get, like, if I'm laying down or diving and like hit a foot, and somehow that was enough to lose, like sometimes guys can get absolutely blasted and then they just run right through the tackle. It's like, oh, you didn't even phase me.
Bo Jackson would just run you over.
I think, but then would it be something as simple as like he's running, he's already by me, and I hit the right foot that somehow hits his left heel, and then it drops. I mean, that's the only hope. I don't think I could stop. I know I couldn't stop any of these guys.
Dude, have you seen Tecmo Bowl? Like, you have no chance.
If he's Tecmo Bowl, Bo Jackson?
Yeah.
I feel like these are three of the most unique athletes in football that we've ever seen.
I think the best chance you would have is to get Barry Sanders, offensive line, doing no job, and you kind of surround him, and then you grab for a foot. You like dive for a foot. I think that's the best chance that you got.
I was thinking, who do you think has the best moves?
Barry.
So Vic. This is going to sound absurd, but could Barry, he probably wouldn't have to. I mean, if he saw you or me and this was his chance to get into the goal, like he's not going to have to do. But if Barry did like 3 shakes and my brain's so far behind, like, am I still at the first one and Barry ends up running into me and I somehow tackle him? I mean, this sounds so ridiculous, but yeah, I feel like those 3 guys were so unique at their positions, at their craft. Vic was, I saw some video of him the other day, and that's what made me probably think of this question. Just how fast he was, how much shake he had, and he was powerful too. Like, I don't want that. Like, he wasn't the quarterback that always slid. Sometimes if he saw someone, he's like, oh, I'll take on the hit.
Which sometimes it got him in trouble.
It did. Bo was just a truck, and then Barry was too. But Barry's,
I feel cheated because I really only know Bo Jackson, the Tecmo Bowl player,
he was
and
incredible.
The comeback baseball player.
Yeah.
I never really saw him as the powerhouse.
I don't even know if anybody believes they could stop anybody. But did you ever play any level of football?
No.
Yeah.
They didn't have it at Sacramento Lutheran High School.
Oh, that's why you were the best passing 6-foot big man they ever had. The school has ever.
I would have been a hell of a tight end.
Well, so I played 1 year, again, freshman. It wasn't any good. That's not the point. But we had one.
You had confidence going in, though.
I did. I guess I could share that story. I was talking to my friend Kevin Krogstad. I said, Kev, and we're both trying.
KC.
He's KK.
Oh, KK.
Yeah, Kevin Krogstad. I said, Kevin, we were both debating whether or not we're going to play football. I think we decided we're going to play. And of course, I played a ton of like in the street, at the yard, at the school, at the park. And this sounds totally absurd now, but at the time I thought it made perfect sense. I said, yeah, I think I'm going to play running back. And I don't know, probably will get about 1,000 yards and like, I don't know, maybe like 10 touchdowns. I mean, I honestly wasn't even saying that with ego. It was just like, I'll
probably get that.
I'll run by people at the park all the time. Like, this won't be that hard. Yeah. That did not happen. Nowhere near happening. You put pads on, there's a lot people bigger than me. I came from middle school, obviously, to high school. And I would say it was the second smallest on the team at that time. Just a little pipsqueak. And yeah, football was a different animal, that's for sure. But the point is, Chris, we had this drill where I think it's called like the UCLA drill or whatever. It's basically one-on-one. And it's like me running with the ball at you, and we're in a confined space, and you're trying to tackle me. I'm trying to either run through you or shake you. And in my spot, I'm like, well, I'm not going to be able to run through anybody. I'm too little. But even though you could still do that with confidence, I didn't have that kind of confidence. But I'm going against my buddy, and I did like the best shake move of all time. Totally lost him, but he played goalie in soccer, and I got past him, and he just like stuck his foot out. And
he tripped you?
He tripped me. Total face plant. Didn't even get the landing gear down. Face mask to the turf because I thought I was gone. And that's probably what I'd have to do to Barry Sanders, Bo Jackson, or Michael
Trip
Vick.
him.
Trip him. I would take the penalty, keep him out of the end zone. All right, there you go. There's 4 down territory. When we come back, who's hot? Who's not? Also, we'll look back at our 3 in the key from the Kings and the Pelicans in that ugly game. Still more comments, too, from De'Aaron Fox. That's all straight ahead here on Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopiers.com.
Gobble, gobble, folks. It's that time of year again when the leaves fall, and so do the prices at Elk Grove Kia. We're bringing you Thanksgiving early with deals that'll make your wallet say thanks. This fall, our lot is stuffed with the latest Kia models, and we've carved out incredible savings. Get your hands on a brand new Kia with Elk Grove Kia's award-winning reliability and service you can trust, unlike your auntie's dodgy broccoli casserole. Don't wait until the turkey's on the table. Come to Elk Grove Kia and feast on the best deals this fall. And don't worry if you have challenged credit. Our finance team has over 100 years of experience. They may or may not have even helped a pilgrim or two get qualified. So hurry on down to Elk Grove Kia, where the prices are falling faster than Uncle Bob falls asleep in front of the football game at Thanksgiving. It's the Thanksgiving sale going on now at Elk Grove Kia, located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com. Elk Grove Kia, where the only thing bigger than our savings is our gratitude for our amazing customers.
Elk Grove Kia.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy
the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said, I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around the store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
It's the Black Friday Sell-a-thon at Folsom Lake Ford with low prices, low finance rates, and a $500 Amazon gift card on selected vehicles. Now through Monday, shop your truck headquarters, Folsom Lake Ford. See dealer for details.
Meshuggah comes to Hard Rock Live Sacramento on November 22nd with special guests In Flames and Whitechapel. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
All right, it is that time for who or what is hot and who or what is not. Hot or not. Chris, who's hot?
The New Orleans Pelicans.
Oh, come on, too soon.
Too soon?
Yeah.
Did you see what they did last night?
They did.
They destroyed the Kings.
Yeah, but that's our team.
The starting five
And they're here to stay.
shot 34 of 51 for 67%. Brandon Ingram, 5 of 5 from 3 points. He finished with 31 points.
He cheated.
And the second and third quarter, the Pelicans outscored the Kings 71-38.
I want to recount. Yeah, that was unfair. They were great. They really worked the Kings. And, you know, we're talking about injuries. They were injured, too. They didn't have C.J. McCollum. They didn't have Larry Nance Jr. They had a few other guys that were out. Yeah, second quarter was brutal. So they're hot. I don't know if you're going to put who I think maybe in the not.
Who do you think is not?
I don't want you to put the Kings there.
Well, they are.
Ugh.
Specifically when they pay the Pelicans.
Okay.
This comes from our Sactown Kings insider, Frankie Cardicelli.
Frankie!
So they lost by 30 last night. The Kings only lost one game by 30 or more points last season. Do you know who that was to?
New Orleans.
The New Orleans Pelicans. They lost 136-102 on February 5th.
If I remember right, that was the last game without De'Aaron Fox when he was on baby duty. If I think I'm correct.
He was on top of it, or just making sure that.
Yeah, he was making sure everything was going right.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. The birth of baby Rain. All right, yeah, I think those qualify as a stinky game for the Sacramento Kings, and well, it's that time. We got to recap, see how we did in our predictions before this stinky game. How do we do on our 3 in the key? These were predictions we made, Chris, you and I. We asked question 1 of 3 points for our superstar, De'Aaron Fox. I said 36.
You were way off.
You said 27 because I think you thought it would be light work, maybe an easy night for the Kings. De'Aaron had 14. 5 of 18, 2 of 12 from 3. Boy, he got thirsty beyond the arc. Way too many three-point attempts, especially for those not going in. Only 4 free throws for him. He really wasn't attacking the basket. It was an abnormal game for him. Also, 0 assists for De'Aaron. Man, good job by the Pelicans. For the plus-minus fans out there, De'Aaron was minus 32. Yikes. So, Chris, technically, you were closer with his 14 points. You predicted 27. I predicted 36. You get the win there. We asked for Keegan Murray made 3-pointers. I said 2. Chris, you said 3. He played just 1/2 of basketball before injuring his lower back. He made 1. So I guess I was closer in that, but I hope he's okay. Backs are, as they always say, tricky. I hope it's just a half of a game missed, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll get an update today, I'm sure, at some point on Keegan's health. And then the last one, we always ask for a random stat, something different, something odd, something that will maybe be memorable. Chris, you said Keegan Murray would have a poster dunk. Didn't see it.
I didn't either.
Didn't happen yesterday. By the way, Nate's, I still have the previous games. I asked the last Sacramento field goal. He said Petrosev. He was off by a game, maybe, I think. My random stat actually came true. I said both centers would have a double-double. Domantas Sabonis, not the best of double-doubles. It would have been a weird triple-double, but he was 10, 10, and 8. But not a great game, I didn't think. And Jonas Valanciunas had 10 points and 13 rebounds.
How good was he?
He was pretty good. Now, did I read right? I saw this on social media. I don't know that this is confirmed. Remember where there was the stoppage of play where they ran into the front row and it looked like someone collided into that kid? I don't know if you saw
I didn't see that.
I think someone said it was Valanciunas' son, which is a bummer. I mean, it's a bummer for
So
whoever.
that's
it is.
how Murray got hurt? He ran into Valanciunas' son?
No, I don't. Was Keegan in that? I don't remember him being in that.
I was making it.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think who was in that, who kind of fell into the crowd there. So hope everybody's all right with that. Yeah, we'll be on the injury watch. Gman didn't have much of an update now, and that's something that they got to go through kind of the athletic training staff, and we'll get full reports of how that looks going forward. All right, so there's who's hot, who's not, and a recap of our pick 3 or 3 in the key. Excuse me. We'll have that again tomorrow when the Kings get ready to take on the Pelicans for round 2 of this mini 2 games in 3 nights. In the next hour, we're going to check in on the Niners at 9, and we'll give you our top 5, bottom 5 after another week. And we'll get more player reaction from the loss yesterday. We'll hear from De'Aaron Fox coming up. Got another piece of audio here that Chris shared with me. I thought you guys out there I didn't know any other place to put it, so I wanted to put it here in the show. We talked a little bit last week. We were joined by Casey Pratt as he covers the Oakland A's and their situation. And again, not looking good about their, this unanimous approval to move to Las Vegas. There's still some hurdles to get through, but now more and more people around the league are talking about it and sharing their thoughts on Oakland, on the atmosphere. And as much as some that aren't in the know will look at, oh, nobody goes to the games. It's a dump. The bathrooms are a mess. Facility. It's just awful. They need to get a new place. All that may be true, but those that have been to games know what the atmosphere is like, can be like, especially when there's a game that means a lot. Well, here's Max Scherzer discussing on what was this, a podcast, Chris? I think it was with.
It was
Sean Casey, maybe.
I think I listed it on there.
Foul Territory.
Foul Territory.
Foul Territory. Okay. Here's Max Scherzer talking about his pitching experience and pitching in Oakland.
The situation just stinks for everybody involved. For me, I feel for everybody, especially the fans of Oakland. When everybody asks me, what's the craziest atmosphere you ever pitched in? Don't get me wrong, some World Series games, obviously Game 7s, and those are pretty special. But I always say those playoff games in Oakland are the craziest atmospheres I ever pitched in. Those fans were absolutely amazing. I still can get goosebumps thinking about pitching in that environment. So I know how good the fans can be there. The stadium's a mess. I get it. It's never been resolved. It just seems like it's a lose situation everywhere around for players, fans, owners. Nothing seems to be working. And so it just seems like, I don't have the solution to this. I don't know what the answer is. I stay up through the media of what's going on with the Oakland situation. Just never seems like there's a good answer for this.
All right. Some thoughts from Max Scherzer. So, he's talking about when he was with the Tigers, those playoff series they had with the A's. And Chris, I know you've been there. I've been there many times. I think I'm almost certain I'm going to go this year. And I know some people are like, you got to stay away. And there was no, I guess indirectly, yes, I'd be putting a few extra dollars into the pocket. I have no affinity at all for Fisher at all, the ownership, but it would be for, if this is it, if this is actually it. I've enjoyed the park. I get it. I know where all the faults are and the flaws are, but I think I have memories there, and I personally would like to go see another game there.
I don't know.
I get why, and you're a no.
Yeah.
Are you more of a no? I just won't do it.
I don't know. I guess it just depends. It depends because, who is it? The last 68. What's their fan group?
Oh yeah. Anyway, yeah, though I don't know the name.
They have some like events planned out. Like I want to say for opening day, they're like planning like a boycott.
Yeah,
of
like
everyone
nobody going. Yeah.
Nobody going, but everyone going someplace else.
Right. No, I'm not going to do anything like that. Like if there's a plan, like nobody go to this game, and I'm not going to be going, hey, it's my entertainment. I'm not going to do that. But if it's, there's so many games at home. If there's 81 and there's hey, I'd like to go to the Coliseum one more time. I think I'll be in that group, but it's not like, hey, I'm going to buy season tickets to go to as many games. There's no way of that.
Unfortunately, that stadium, and it wasn't even true this last season, but like the seasons before, that was truly one of the only places, there's probably a couple that I'm not thinking of, but it's one of the only places that a person can take their family for an affordable visit.
Yeah.
Like you could have taken the train there, gotten a couple hot dogs, drinks, and that, and you're not like spending like, oh my God, it's not $500, $600. And unfortunately, that was like one of the few last places. And even if they get the new stadium, it's not going to be like that. So it's kind of like the last place of, I think, like a true sports experience, because now every stadium arena, it's like, oh yeah, the game's going to be there, but we've got all this other stuff that you'll like.
Yeah. One of my favorite things, I think I only did it twice, but I really enjoyed it, was the weekday home day game. So it might be a Wednesday, 12:30. It's not full by any means, but you get in and get out. You enjoy a game, like you said, probably for relatively inexpensive ticket, and then, food concessions. Yeah, there's better facilities everywhere in Major League Baseball, but for a fan experience, just sitting there and watching a baseball game, it's a great park.
And then even on top of that, like, yeah, there's a ton of seats there, but if you ever wanted to go to a game, you could go to the game.
Yeah.
It was never like, oh man, I got to get in quick, or I'm going to have to go and get on scalpers or something like that. Like me and my friends went to Giants A's games without a ticket, just knowing that we'd be able to go up to the will call and grab one.
Find something. Yeah. Bo here says, I'm going to an A's game as well. A lot of really good memories at that park. That's it. And I asked Casey Pratt that last week, Chris. I said, look, there's a couple of options here that all seem really slim. And I said, what's got the better chance of happening? I think the categories I gave him was the A's somehow staying. The A's might have to play in San Francisco, like at Oracle. Like, could that be a possibility? Or them getting a future expansion team. And he actually thought the A's playing in San Francisco was the highest percentage of that odds.
That's what's so disgusting about this, because there's no plan for them.
No, none. And even in Vegas, the plan is to go to Vegas. There's a lot of things. It's just open-ended, like exactly where it's going to be, funding, all that. It's messy, and it's not, they didn't tie up all the loose ends at all.
I mean, honestly, if the park ends up not at Tropicana, would that surprise you?
No.
Would it be like an extra year or two before they go to Vegas?
Right.
That's not surprising.
It's already 28 right now at the earliest. That's such a long time. And then the part that I don't want to tell anybody not to believe, because I think it's important to have hope and faith and believe in something. But I just think there's zero chance, Chris, of getting an expansion back there.
No.
I mean, if you lose the A's along with the Warriors and it's sad, but
it's just disgusting how the fans have been used throughout the entire
100%.
process.
And especially then when like Rob Manfred's going to say, well, you saw nobody was at the game. No, you can't do that. That's not fair to do that now. The way they've been treated, the way the organization has been run, you can't lump that in as a reason.
Look at all the players that are on like doing well on playoff teams.
Yeah, thriving. They got out of there.
And it's not, and players that didn't even want to leave.
Right. They love their experience. It's just the circumstances they had. So, all right. Third hour is in the books. We got a final hour ahead. Niners at 9. In that, we will do our top 5, bottom 5 after another week of the NFL. We'll look one more time at the nightmare that was for the Kings last night in New Orleans, and a lot more ahead in our final hour coming up on Sactown Sports.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you. Lightning and the thunder. Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then
boom, with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sactown Sports.
Yep. All right, final hour of today's show coming up. Styles and Watkins following us here. They'll be on at 10. They'll be in the last segment, in fact, as well. Little celebrity birthdays. Also, the new show that started a couple weeks ago here on Sactown Sports on the weekend, True Sports Card Show. One of the hosts and the owner of the shop, Imran Pilati, is going to join us here at the bottom of the hour as well. Kind of talk a little bit more about the show that's going on the station. Also, some things to look into, obviously, in the sports world and sports, specifically sports cards and memorabilia. We'll do that at the bottom of the hour.
Let's kick it.
We're going to kick it, too, as well, with De'Aaron Fox sound coming your way. But right now, before we get to Niners at 9, let's check in quickly, though. Dominic wanted to check in on the phone lines. Good morning, Dominic.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you. What's on your mind?
I just wanted to touch base on the A's. I mean, I went there as a kid when that stadium opened. Not a bad seat in the house. Was fortunate enough to see the first home run hit there. was wondering how Kansas City felt and how Philadelphia felt when their team left.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff. And we're losing your reception a little bit, Dominic. Thank you. It's awful. It's gutting to lose a team, right? I mean, it's rare that a team comes back. There's memories. There's family bonding that's been made. History of going to these events. Yeah, I just feel for. I don't even think you have to be a diehard fan, but for the diehard fan of the A's, I feel for them. But anybody that's worked there, had memories there, gone to concerts, that's a part of people's lives that's no longer going to be around.
And I've heard people talk about the A's moved from Philadelphia, they moved from Kansas City, but they've been here the longest.
Right.
And like they are a West Coast team.
For sure. And they've had so much success here. I know it's been lean lately, but they've had so many great memories, and there's been a lot of them in that park. And again, that's something that's going to be taken away, barring a miracle. And I guess miracles happen, but we'll at this point, all you can do is hold out hope for that. All right, it's time for Niners at 9. And this week on Niners, or today at Niners at 9, we're going to look at our top 5, bottom 5 from the NFL after another week of action, including a thriller last night in Monday Night Football. So here we go. I'll give you my list of the bottom 5 teams in the National Football League. We'll work from 28 to 32. 28, they're not the worst. They're not that good. Chicago Bears. The Bears. Do they have Ditka or not?
That was absolutely insane.
The Chicago Bears lost this last week, and that was kind of in Bears fashion. They had a 2-score lead on the Lions. They couldn't close the deal. And Detroit got the job done to go to 8-2. They may show up, and they will show up in our top 5. That's coming up. But the bottom 5, Chicago, and I think they really need to figure out here in the last couple of games the future status of Justin Fields, if that's going to be their quarterback that they want to go forward with. Some of the injuries this year derailed some of that thought process, or at least the knowledge base that they were gaining on every time he plays. They had a chance to move on from him. Remember, before the year, he's been through everything. It was like, will the Bears keep him? They decided to keep him. He was getting a lot of talk for MVP before the year started, which I thought was absolutely crazy. But here they are at 3-8. I put them in as the 5th worst team after this week at number 28. The 4th worst team, just because they've won last week, I'm giving a little bit of love to the Giants. This is a bad football team. They're bad. But they did win. Their scoring differential minus 136. They just have to keep playing the Commanders. That gives them hope. They're 3-8 with the win. Not a lot of hope there. Quarterback injuries. They're a mess, but I put them as the 4th worst team. The 3rd worst team, and I think this team will get better as the season goes along, and they're not as much of a joke with Kyler Murray, but they have just 2 wins to speak of, including one of them, though, is Dallas. So they've got a good win in their arsenal. But Arizona, 3rd worst team. They're more competitive, certainly with Kyler Murray in the mix. The 2nd worst team is the only AFC team I have in the mix at Team 31. The New England Patriots, how the mighty have fallen. And it's been tough times for Bill Belichick, for that organization. I don't think anybody out there, unless you're a Pats fan, feels sorry for them at any way, shape, or form. 2-8, just 1-5 at home. Semi-competitive, but really you feel like at the end they're going to find a way to lose the game, and that's generally what happens to the New England Patriots. And the team still dead last, the Carolina Panthers. Carolina lost 3 in a row. They're 1-9, going through some growing pains. I think the best thing they have this year is maybe Adam Thielen, and that's a stretch. He's had a decent season. But bottom 5, Bears, Giants, Cardinals, Patriots, Carolina Panthers.
Stinky.
Pretty stinky. Chris, anybody you feel like I'm missing just hearing that off the top of your head? Bears, Giants, Cardinals, Patriots, Carolina.
I think you nailed it.
Thought about the Commanders. Thought about the Chargers, honestly, but I thought they're not the 5 worst teams.
Like if they do the right thing, they should win the game, right?
They should. Titans, they only have 3 wins. Thought about them. AFC is a little bit more difficult, I think. So 4 NFC teams, 1 AFC team. All right, now let's work from 5 to 1. The 5 best teams, according to me, which is something, in your top 5. After last night, they lost. Still think highly of them, but I've moved the Chiefs down. Still a great team. They're 5th. It's weird that maybe the strength of their team, it's always going to be Mahomes in the offense. Well, it's not so much. It's still Mahomes. That defense should be enough to get it done for them. It wasn't quite there yesterday. So I have the Chiefs at number 5. Based on how they're playing, how they've been really consistent. They got back in the win column this last week. Their point differential is good. They're in a tough division, the AFC North. The Baltimore Ravens land at number 4 for me. All right, number 3, and maybe I should have flip-flopped these two because the Ravens did beat the Lions, but I have Detroit at 3. They've been playing better lately. They've moved up to 3. I know they escaped with the win against the Bears, and now actually revisiting my list, I feel maybe I am going to flip-flop that. I'm going to go Chiefs 5, Lions 4, Ravens 3. So, yeah, the Ravens beat the Lions beat the Chiefs. We're just kind of going on that theme, and maybe I'm vaulting them too high, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's my list. Number 2, the San Francisco 49ers. I still think when they have played at their best, they have been the best football team. They haven't done it enough. They had that 3-game stretch where they only scored 17 a game, lost all 3. Injuries were a factor, not the reason. But, again, when they're on, I don't think anybody's beating the Niners. They're 7-3. I put them at number 2. And you got to give respect and props to Philadelphia, number 1 team, 9-1. Their point differential isn't that significant. They play a lot of close games, but they're winning these close games. And you start to look at who they've defeated. You know, the Vikings could be a playoff team. They've defeated the Dolphins. They've defeated the Cowboys and now the Chiefs. And this next stretch is still that they're in it. They beat the Cowboys by 5, beat the Chiefs by 4. They get the Bills this weekend. They get the Niners. And then they go to the Cowboys and the Seahawks. So if they can kind of get through that, they might have to have everything go through Philadelphia in the NFC. And that win by the Eagles yesterday, that comeback, really did some damage to the 49ers' hopes of being the top seed in the NFC overall. So there you go. Top 5, Chiefs, Lions, Ravens, Niners, Eagles. All right, so we've done the Niners at 9, top 5, bottom 5. When we come back, we'll get back into that Kings and Pelicans game last night. It was rough. One last look at that. We'll hear from De'Aaron Fox as well as we continue here on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Hey, it's Carmichael. Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Williamson was a big piece of that. And Zion, I said this yesterday, he's kind of turned into an interesting case study because I think the league is really good at one thing, and that's promoting players. And it's usually promoting new players. And so what's the newest thing? Who's the hottest player? So here's Victor Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren, Paolo Banchero. Let's, start feeding that cycle of the next generation of players. Well, Zion was in that. He's still really young. And I know they had the stat on TV, and I'm going to have the numbers wrong, but I think this is season 5 for him already, and he's only played 125 games. That's amazing. So when he's out there, he's awesome. He's got to play more, and that's got to be really difficult for the Pelicans, because if David Griffin, who's running that organization, and imagine putting yourself in their shoes, like you've got a signature piece, a difference-making player, and you're trying to build around him. Like right now, the Kings have that in Fox and Sabonis. So imagine if Fox and Sabonis were missing seasons, a full season, or 50 games in a year. It's really hard to build your structure of team around that. And when it continues to happen, it's a little bit like the Lakers. Like they're in it on Anthony Davis, but if he keeps missing, or Kawhi Leonard on rest days or whatever, just when you're relying on certain things and game plans, and things change, but when it's a drastic change like that, when you're playing without a key player, that's really rough. And so the Pelicans, though, were the stronger team, the better team. Kings had to deal with some injuries before the game and in the game. They lost Chris Duarte, they lost Keegan Murray, and now it's about regrouping and playing obviously much, much better tomorrow when they get the same Pelican team, and trying to avoid what they did against Houston the previous time they had that happen this year, when they lost by double figures to the Rockets, had a day off, played the Rockets again, and in that game I think they were down 30 plus. So last night, trailing by as much as 41. I didn't like the Kings' offensive approach. It's been so good lately. I think averaging about 125 with De'Aaron in the mix. Well, De'Aaron was there. He settled for threes. Sabonis didn't get enough paint touches. And the Kings, just flat out got outplayed. Sometimes you can do full breakdowns, and this happened this, or if this call didn't go this way. They got worked. There's no other way to say it. Let's hear what De'Aaron had to say. Usually he's pretty measured and matter of fact after the game. Here was De'Aaron Fox with the media after the loss.
How do you describe how you guys need to move forward given some of this early season adversity?
Just come in being ready to play. I think we just won good tonight, and it had nothing to do with the injury. So it's always next man up mentality.
Tonight was the first back-to-back you guys have had. What's it doesn't sound like you guys are at all happy with how things went. What do you pull from this, and moving forward into the other back-to-backs you have on the schedule?
You pull nothing from this. Back-to-backs are normal. We just didn't have a good game, and credit to them. They came out, they had a good game, and we just played bad. But at the end of the day, when you have games like this, you try to throw that away, and we see them again in 2 days. So just try to prepare for that one.
As a leader on the team, potentially with some of the young guys getting more opportunity now with injuries, just what's your message to the young guys who might be getting more minutes now?
You have to come in knowing the game plan. Obviously, it could be a long, detailed document, but you have to come in knowing what your role is, knowing what you need to do, and knowing how we are trying to defend every guy, because it's going to be different for every guy. So the NBA from college is a lot different when it comes to personnel.
When it comes to defending Zion, given how physically unique he is, are there simple adjustments that you can make on him defensively, or just what type of threat does he pose?
No, you just have to try to be physical without fouling. If you're in position to take a charge, take a charge. Obviously, you're going to take a big hit, but we have to be better in keeping their entire team out the paint. Obviously, they shot the ball extremely well tonight as well, but we have to be better and not allow that many points in the paint.
All right, some comments there from De'Aaron Fox. I've always liked De'Aaron's approach on stuff like that, where and I didn't get the sense of this. I know social media is a dangerous place, but I didn't feel like it was the end of the world for Kings fans yesterday. It was a bad loss. People took it that way. New Orleans outplayed them. But the Kings are coming off a 6-game win streak. They've been playing so well. You'd rather see them be more competitive. You'd rather see them have a chance to win. They really didn't. They had zero chance to win in the game. But you got to figure out now for Coach Brown, coaching staff, the game plan. Was it a game plan problem? Was it an execution problem? Was it personnel problem? And that's what they've got to figure out over the next day or so to have a much better scheme, approach, all that. Back to back, there's certain things that you could list against the Kings going into that one, but that's the way the league works. The Kings probably had the better of the schedule benefit the day before when they were playing Dallas, who was in Milwaukee the day before, playing a physical game against the Bucks. So the Kings looked like the fresher team, made shots, kind of that track meet, and then you could see Dallas run out of gas. Kings not only ran out of gas, ran out of physical nature, and again, I think after it started to get bad, it didn't need to snowball as bad as it did. I didn't think they played a very smart game, which that doesn't happen to them very often. So I'm going to take it as a rare blip, but I got the warning up. Not that something is turning in some sort of negative way. It's how much of this is a matchup situation, and you could really look at this, and if you want to look at it not necessarily in a negative way, but in a way of what's ahead for the Kings. They obviously have the Pelicans again, and then Friday in the next in-season tournament game, they play Minnesota. I personally think those two matchups aren't the best for the Kings. I think Dallas is a really good matchup. If you can somehow contain Luka and Kyrie, they don't have anything inside for Sabonis. The pace, the Kings like to play with them too. I just think that matches up well. Where New Orleans is big in the front court, they've got challenges to test the Kings inside. And I think Minnesota's the same way with also a very good defense. They're the top in the West right now. So something to watch as we get closer to that, certainly. And the other thing as the day goes on, the most important thing of all that, despite the loss, is the health of Keegan Murray, Chris Duarte, and some of the other guys that are out. I don't think it's very long for Sasha. Hopefully not on the other guys as well. Keon Ellis shouldn't be very long. But you want to be as fully healthy as possible. And Keegan's an important piece defensively, certainly offensively too when he's right. Yesterday, still waiting for him to break out as a big shooting day. He's been able to score in a few games here recently, but only played 16 minutes before leaving with that injury to the lower back. All right, we will take the break here. When we come back, we're going to tell you what to watch, but also in studio, those of you on YouTube already see Imran in here. They got you. They're seeing you. On the Saturdays, a new show here on Sactown Sports, True Sports Card Show. The business is booming. We'll find out the very latest, what's going on in the show, what's going on in the business. Imran Pilati joins us next here on Sactown Sports.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the three. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Tuesday. We're looking at a cool start to the day. A few clouds will fill in this afternoon, but overall mostly sunny. Plan for highs to peak in the mid-60s. You can get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every lower-priced certified pre-owned Honda is one we'd buy from ourselves. See our selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Craig Ashton of the Injury Law Firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Pat Green and Diamond Rio. Live in concert, Saturday, December 9th, 7 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. Country music icons, Pat Green and Diamond Rio. With special guest, Mark Wills. On sale now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Pat Green and Diamond Rio. Did you know one of the worst things you can do is turn on your furnace after it's been sitting there all summer, gathering dust, without giving it a thorough tune-up first?
Think about it. What if your car had been sitting in the garage for 6 months without ever running?
Any piece of machinery that's been sitting needs to be tuned up. So call Bell Brothers. We'll tune up your furnace for just $87 and guarantee the results.
We guarantee that your tuned-up furnace will save you $87 on your energy bills. And we guarantee that your tuned-up furnace won't break down during the season, or we'll immediately refund your money. No questions asked.
Don't delay. Small problems that are easy and inexpensive to fix can quickly turn into big, expensive problems.
Call Bell Brothers right now to schedule your furnace tune-up at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
On December 9th, witness a mind-bending show like no other with The Clairvoyants Holiday Spectacular at Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville, featuring mind-reading, magic tricks, and illusions, with a special appearance from Mr. Coney Handini, the world's first mind-reading dog. Get your tickets now to see The Clairvoyants live, only at
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Okay, 21 or older.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door?
My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every single day. Imagine what you could do if your business had that kind of reach. It's not a dream. Right now, you can take advantage of Amazon's expansive network to benefit your business. Unlock expert insights and tap into the full potential of Amazon. Simply text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105. Put the power of Amazon to work for you. Text DIGITAL, that's DIGITAL, to 916-766-5105.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles, drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. Makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long, long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
They bleed black and purple. It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on your local sports leader, Sactown Sports.
All right, back here on the show, Jason Ross here with you. No Carmichael Day this week. He's back next week. Imran Pilati, though, is in studio. You brought gifts, Imran. Thank you very much for that.
Anytime that you come into a studio and jump on somebody's show, feed them.
Feed them. It always wins.
The good news is that while you're eating, I can continue talking.
Yes. Well, those, hopefully you know by now. If you don't, we got to educate everybody because every Saturday morning now, 10 o'clock, the True Sports Card Show is on right here on Sactown Sports. It's been on for 3 or 4 shows now, and it's taken over. And you have your shop going in the Rockland area, and sports card business is pretty good right now, isn't it?
It's not bad. It's good enough to where I was able to retire from the real estate sales game last year after 23 years in real estate. We were just kind of reminiscing back in the past of how long people have been doing what they've been doing. Jason, you just shared with me 30 years here.
Almost 30 at the station.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you said 94. I was a junior in high school. So that just tells you.
Well, at least we're not that far off, but we're off a little bit.
Yeah, but the market's been really good. The last 60 to 90 days, a little bit of a tick down, but that's okay. It's a way for us to have affordable options for kids and collectors of all ages.
So everybody's got their story. I was a card collector when I was a kid. Started then, and then, if I could find 25 cents, I'm buying a pack of cards. If I had $1, I was a millionaire, right? I could get 4 packs. This is amazing. And then you build your collection, you do different things. And there was a time where I was really into it, going to shows, trading with people, with friends. Obviously, there wasn't internet and different things like that. And then as you maybe I would show up at a Target when I'm older and have a little bit more extra money, like, hey, there's still some cards. Let me get a pack. Let me get a couple of packs. So I would say, though, I jumped back in during, like a lot of people, I think during the pandemic. Didn't you see a huge boom there?
Huge boom, both in pricing and interest. I think that a lot of the sports bettors, people that had made their money or spent a lot of time paying attention to live sports, didn't have anything to look at.
Yeah.
Didn't have anything to make money with.
Right.
So the sneaker flippers and the sports bettors moved into the sports card and memorabilia game. And we saw a real uptick. As an example, I saw, let's just say that I had a Michael Jordan option. That there's a rookie card, his 86 Fleer PSA 8. I bought on eBay for $7,700. Now, I'm not rich. I'm just telling you that's what I paid for it on that investment. December of 2020. I went to the Dallas Card Show on January 21st, a little less than a month later.
It was graded 8, you said? PSA
yes,
8?
PSA 8, and I sold it for $20,000. $13,000 profit. I mean, that's how nuts it was at that time during the pandemic and the shutdown of all sports.
So just for perspective, if you had that same card today, what are you selling that for?
It's probably worth about $9,000 to $10,000.
So you still would have made money.
Correct.
But you hit at the right time.
Hey, I've been in real estate 23 years.
Yes.
It's the same thing, right?
Same premise?
So even if it goes down in value, I'm from Stockton, born and raised. So we were seeing 25% increases in value home, in 2005, 6, 7, 25 each way. But then when it crashed, it still was higher than when it first started.
Yeah.
So yes, people still are ahead. It's just, when did they purchase their cards and when did they liquidate it?
Yeah. So what are you finding that's coming into your shop the most right now? People maybe like me that's collected a long time ago. What do I do with my cards? Or people that are just what's the slice of the pie? Where are most of your clients today?
Well, I would tell you that the people that come in, it's a lot of, I'm 46. You're slightly older than me, but don't look it, by the way. You look great.
Thank you.
Thanks for radio or not
Yes.
YouTube.
Yeah.
But I would tell you that the people that come in, they go, hey, I collected since I was a kid. I haven't touched my collection since. And I was wondering if you could tell me how much money you're going to give me for my 1988 Topps set.
Yeah.
And I go,
$4.
There's a dumpster behind my store. And if you put it there,
you're killing dreams.
I am. I'm the dream killer. However, I sometimes find that Griffey 89 Upper Deck rookie card in a pile of mess. So there's a lot of people that are the Gen Xers,
right?
Like us, that come in and say, I've been bringing this from house to house for the last 30 years. And I was wondering, now can I cash it in? It's like, no, that was kind of a junk wax era. There's a bunch of stuff. The majority of people that do come in, though, come in with unique items, like autographed items.
Mm-hmm.
I got this signed by Joe Montana at the Rockland 49ers camp.
Sure.
Or I was at this event and I had it. And what people don't understand is that memory itself is worth something to you, but the item itself doesn't necessarily pass on as value to the next person that wants to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
You got your shirt signed on your back by Steve Young. That doesn't really hold a lot of weight in the sense of what somebody's going to want to put in their mantle at home.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of that, and it's a lot of education. But I would tell you that current collectors right now, they want Purdy more than anything.
Really?
Yes. Purdy is as hot as can be. And ultimately, his fortunes have been tempered by the fact that Jake Moody kept missing field goals. So there's so many factors in football that can affect a player. But for the majority, it's quarterbacks, it's Purdy. For the Kings, it's Fox every day, all day long. So those are what people are coming in for and bringing in to sell.
Are you finding that more people are, I guess, I don't know if there's a fine line here, but I mean, like collectors versus investors? Because
Such a blend now. It's such a blend.
And that's what because I think we've even had off-air conversations where I said I probably am more of the collector, though it was hibernating for years, where I go, oh yeah, I guess some of these are worth something, but do I want to sell them? So you feel like it's a hybrid?
Well, I think it's the world, right? So for example, if nobody ever wants to get taken.
True.
Right? So we're going to go to Amazon and we're going to search and see this item and we're going to show it to the person at Target and say, will you match this?
Right.
Because if not, I'll press this button and order it myself and get it tomorrow. Yeah. So everybody's looking for a deal. And not only are they looking for a deal, they want the thing now. We're in a world of now. Spotify, I want that thing now.
Yeah, I can play that song today.
They're going to, somebody might be listening to this radio show 3 hours from now because they're going to watch it on YouTube or hear it on the podcast. So it's at my leisure, at my time, at my price. And so a lot of people are looking at it from, I love collecting De'Aaron Fox, but I sure want to get a deal on this.
Yeah.
And so it's this hybrid right now, whereas before it's like, I don't care what it is. I need that card.
Yeah.
And there are some of those cases. In fact, we had a really big sale. We have the largest sale in 2023 for 2023 product. We sold a CJ Stroud 1-of-1 card last week for $14,000. Yeah, and a guy pulled it out of a pack.
Yeah, see, that's where I think I would feel like I am. Like I enjoy, or I did enjoy, certainly as a kid, but even now, the thrill of opening a pack. But I also want to know that, like, hey, can I pull the one of, like, I want to get the card that's worth $5,000, but I also, might
risk
get,
versus reward.
What's that?
Risk versus reward.
Yeah.
I
could go buy that. I mean,
there's a box called Panini One, literally one card.
Right.
Okay.
And what's that go for?
$359. So when you pull an Antonio Golden Gandy, and you're like, what's this?
Right.
I mean, that was the best $330 you ever lost.
Yeah.
Right. Because the card's $20. But then when you pull CJ Stroud 1 of 1 for $14,000 and you paid $350, I mean, that's the game that you play. It's a gambling game. And some people love that because they love the feeling.
Sure.
But I notice a lot more people are just saying, instead of me risking it, I want that card, and I'll be willing to pay fair market for that card.
Your shop's amazing too. For anybody that's been there, it's awesome. It's clean. It's good presentation. Lots going on. I think last week, did you have the trade show? What was going on
this
last
past weekend? We had our 2-year anniversary, and what we did was we had 12 booths out there for kids under the age of 16 to sell cards for the very first time as dealers. So we were
they were selling?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Giving them the tables free,
Yeah.
made sure that they were able to learn how to do business, buy, sell, and trade. And we helped them out, and seeing these kids, the next generation, learn about business and commerce and how it should work. That was really rewarding for me.
Were there some future Emin Pilates out there?
I will tell you that
some sharks.
Is that what I am?
I don't know.
I will tell you that when you see these kids nowadays, part of my heart sinks when I hear them and they open a pack and they see a card, they're excited and they go, how much is this worth? Like within 3 seconds. So we have to help them, condition them to say, it's okay to enjoy it for a minute before you're worried about the value of the card. So that's part of it. And, you know, I have a 1-year-old son. He's my one and only. I named him Beckett for those of you that happen to know. I think shout out to my wife, Jessica, for allowing me to name my kid Beckett when she was like, I don't know about that. And so we're all in. We're all into the card game. We're all into the memorabilia game. And I'm going to be here for decades to come. And my job is to make sure that the next generation learns how to collect in a fun way and a profitable way.
Does trading still happen?
It does.
Yeah.
In fact, it's more people want to trade now than ever before because the commerce of changing and exchanging money is difficult. Today's economy is a little bit different than it was during the pandemic, and money talks. So what we try to do is we try to make sure that we take cards that we don't want and put them in the hands of people that do want them. And my suggestion is if you have a player that you want, say Purdy, then what you do is you go out and talk to people and say, well, who do you collect? So that way maybe we can make a trade of somebody that you don't like. Because I know plenty of people that own Purdy cards that are Cowboys fans, etc., that hate Purdy as a player.
Sure.
And so they're ready to get rid of it, but they also are looking for fair market value on their trades.
So what can people expect weekly when they're on Sactown Sports Saturday morning at 10? What do you got going on?
I think we did a little research, myself and co-host Emil Fragoso. We did a little research, and I think we are the only show in any of the top 30 markets in the United States that is a baseball card / sports cards show.
Yeah, there's podcasts. But I don't think
Podcasts
there's a
left and
radio
right.
show.
Yeah. And I've been a podcast host for 7 years, both in real estate and in sports memorabilia. And it's such a challenge to do radio. Truly.
Yeah.
I've been watching you now for the last hour and 2 hours by yourself here. And I don't think people understand how difficult it is to go solo. In some cases, just trying to stay within the frameworks of that. So what we try to do is educate our people every single time. I think podcasts are really good about talking about how bad things are. And if things are so bad, then why are you doing a podcast about it? If things are so bad, then why are you still buying? If things are so bad, then why are you still selling? So what I'm trying to do is trying to educate people and say, hey, look, there's something for everybody. And I want to make sure that you know your options. In addition to that, I want to give them solid advice. I'm not telling you you should buy this person, but here's some things to look into when you're going to invest or buy. And then the third thing is making sure that people understand that you have a local resource here in the Rockland, Roseville, Sacramento area that's here to help you.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're coming into my shop to spend $1, not spend anything, or spend $10,000. It doesn't matter to me. My job is to make sure that I educate you and have you feel a really cool place to go to, enjoy it, and meet our staff and have them help you out.
Well, and plus you on the show too, I know you're so connected to athletes as well. You've got personal connections, people that you've helped represent, and you bring into the shop autographs and different things. And you're going to have some of those people on your show too.
So
right?
for example, next week we have actually this upcoming Saturday, we have Ryan, the host of Sports Card Radio, who's one of the most polarizing figures on the internet. So he'll be in studio with us. The following week, I have James Spence from James Spence Authentication calling in. This is the guy that is the king of the authentication. And we're going to have Uriah Faber in studio on January 20th. I'm exclusive memorabilia agent for Kevin Herter from the Kings. So Kevin will be doing an autograph signing with us at our store on January 20th. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be able to do. And I think bringing the people closer to behind the curtain in this industry is a big deal.
I think it's and then how many people now are is the grading process easier and smoother than it was, like, I don't know, 12 months ago?
Okay. Yes? Question mark?
Yeah.
Depends on who you go with. We use two companies. We use PSA or SGC. PSA is obviously the financial king in the sense of how many people submit as well as the value of a card. But SGC is quick and one of the best in customer service that you can get out there. So they start for as low as $15 to get graded at SGC in bulk. With PSA, we do grading for about $30 a card. And I'll just tell you the backlog is not a year long, but it's definitely 90 days for PSA. With SGC, we get it back in about 3 weeks.
So I guess it goes back to that. What are you collecting or business? Like,
What's the purpose of the grading?
Suggesting to get it graded?
For sure. Well, anytime that you're putting something in a hard plastic slab with a number, it's easy to protect it. And it's easy for us, you and me, Jason, or me and another buyer or seller to know what the true value is because it has a number. If I sold a raw vintage card, something that was just laying around, and it had a crease here or a bent corner there, and it's a 1950s Mickey Mantle card.
Right.
When you get it on eBay, off of eBay, you're like, well, I didn't see this crease. Well, I didn't see that. And then I have to worry about, did you switch it on me? Did you put a different Mickey Mantle card in there that was in worse condition than the one I sent you? When it's slabbed, it has its own serial number. It's got a number. We can track record what the value is. There's so many advantages of getting something graded.
I have to say, too, for anybody that hasn't listened to the show, if you do, it's some of the, even just the terms that you do, because I jump back in and sometimes when I'm hearing, like, especially when I first started, when people were going, oh, that's a prism relic, blah. I'm like,
that's how I feel.
What?
I have to learn it every day. Like, what's this?
Yeah.
I have younger staff, incredible staff, Donovan, Pete, etc. They're all in their late teens, early 20s. And I go, what is this?
Yeah.
I feel like, you get off my lawn.
Right,
You're
exactly.
like, just old man.
It's just simple. There was one card for one player each season, and now there's the short print. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah, and I think that with Michael Rubin, the CEO of Fanatics, now taking over the sports card industry in about 2 years, he's taking all the licenses, and now
is that gonna be better?
I hope so.
Yeah,
because Panini has an F rating at the Better Business Bureau, and Fanatics has an A+ rating.
Okay.
So while it might be more expensive, sometimes being cheap is expensive.
Yeah.
And I think that the way that Panini's run the last few years has been a little tough. I think they're trying to get better, but it may be a little bit too late.
Fanatics took over Topps, right?
Fanatics bought Topps last year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So. Show is Saturday at 10, each and every Saturday. You want to stick around for a final segment with celebrity birthdays?
Let's do it.
Think you know your birthdays and your celebrities? It doesn't really matter if you do.
I've seen the segment before.
Yeah,
People are awful at this.
It's a guessing game. All right, we've got another segment here. We got Crosstalk coming up with Styles and Watkins. We're back with more here on Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
It's time now for the Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Home Services. For all your roofing and solar needs, visit acrhomeservices.com. Well, the two-game win streak under interim head coach Antonio Pierce came to an end Sunday in Miami for the Silver and Black. Part of the issue, Aiden O'Connell threw 3 interceptions, including the second one to Jalen Ramsey late in the game, keeping the Silver and Black from coming back. Another issue, Josh Jacobs, just 14 carries for 39 yards. Silver and Black now 5-6. That's your Silver and Black Report. Let ACR Home Services be your one-stop shop for all your home needs, starting with unbeatable roofing services. Right now, get a new roof and receive $1,000 off that roof. So sign up today and save with no payment for up to 12 months. And ACR is more than just a roofing company. Whether it's roofing, solar, electrical work, you name it, when you choose ACR Home Services, you're not just getting a contractor, you're partnering with a team that's invested in your satisfaction. That's ACR Home Services.
Does your dog leave frowny piles of poo around the yard? Did you know that a solid poo is one of the best indicators of your dog's gut health? Supreme Source Super Premium Dog Food is made with organic super seaweed and other powerful antioxidants, supporting a healthy digestive system. Real protein is always the first ingredient, plus a blend of essential vitamins and minerals to help support your dog's overall health and well-being. Do their digestion a solid, literally. Find Supreme Source Premium Dog Food at Safeway, Safe Mart, and Smart & Final, or a local grocery store near you.
Shop Black Friday every day and get the best new deals all month long only at Lowe's. Right now, buy one DeWalt 20-volt max 4-tool combo kit. Get 2 select tools free. That's up to a $438 value. Plus, get up to 50% off select vanities, faucets, and shower heads. Shop in-store and online today because Lowe's knows deals. Valid through 11/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Pro football player Travis Kelce is pressed for time during the football season. So he does 2 things at once. Whether it's grilling while mowing.
2 things at once!
Or getting this season's updated COVID-19 shot at the same visit as his flu shot.
2 things at once.
You can be like Travis and ask your pharmacist about getting this season's COVID-19 shot at the same visit as your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hello, saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things. And now, here's Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross.
Yeah, here we go. Final segment of the show. Yeah. Small, smattering.
Little one.
Styles and Watkins in studio. Eamon Pilati is in as well. Look, guys, he came with some goodies. Sweet bread. So just
ask the question, then go into detail, Eamon.
I should have done. Yeah. Stuff your mouth.
Great marketing.
Yeah. And it get you sidetracked off that Kings game last night.
Oh my gosh.
I wish I had that last night while I was watching.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Would have made it a lot better.
Yes.
A lot easier to digest.
What's coming up on the show today, guys?
Talking Kings. Yeah.
Do we have to talk Kings?
No.
I don't know if that's.
No.
Or, okay.
Niners played them Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no.
That's right. Turkey legs, talking about the Niners. Are they going to get their revenge of the turkey legs?
Yeah.
And a lot of conversation about Brock Purdy because Niner fans are being a little bit disingenuous. Last night it was, I thought Patrick Mahomes, now he doesn't have weapons. I thought you don't need weapons, right? And it's just, come on, what are we doing?
That voice, by the way. Yeah. That's exactly how they sound.
That's how I read it on social media.
Yeah. Everyone was saying Purdy is like the hottest guy to collect right now.
Hottest.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have any Purdy cards, Chris?
I don't. No, I don't. I could imagine, though, right? Because those, 7th round pick, last pick in the draft, probably tons out there, right?
Yeah.
You know, he did a signing that I was a participant in, and I won't tell you how much he got paid. It's none of anybody's business, except for mine that paid for some of it. But he signed 1,200 items in 90 minutes.
Wow. That's a lot, correct?
Yeah, sounds like carpal tunnel.
That's probably why I had that elbow injury.
Exactly.
But point of what I'm getting at is that there's some stuff out there in the market for autographed Purdy items, and I get calls every single day. Do you have Purdy? Do you have Purdy? And I go, yes, I do. And then I tell them how much, and they go, hey, how come it's so much money?
Because you keep complaining about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Where did our autograph Bagley jersey go?
Oh, yeah.
I
took it over there outside at the Circle.
Yeah, just left it out there.
Circle file.
We get a couple of pennies for it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Marvin.
Jeez.
A
couple of them.
He is averaging like 11 for the 2 and 11 Pistons.
A solid 11.
Yeah.
Very solid.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how we do on our celebrity birthdays today, guys. Celebrity birthdays brought to you by Crumble Cookies. Birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better than Crumble Cookies.
You're good at that. The live reads. I have to work on that.
I made that up. All of it is made up. All right, here we go. Happy birthday to Carly Rae Jepsen. Call me maybe.
Call me maybe. I bet you it's harder than the birthday is. What year that song came out? I'm gonna guess 2014. I'm gonna say that she is. I'd say she's 29.
I'll say that song came out in 2012, and I'll say
to the internet.
Carly Rae Jepsen is 32.
I'm just gonna split the middle. That song came out in 2013, and it is a confusing one because, is she 30 on the nose?
Okay.
Yeah.
Christopher Lodge?
She's deceptively older than you would think she is.
Probably.
She's 37.
Okay.
Whoa.
She's 37?
That's his guess.
He's guessing.
You said 2012?
I said 2012, yeah.
That's the correct year.
I feel like I remember the Olympics. Like
That's
people
exactly
were,
how I was thinking. The swimmers were
Right,
singing that
yeah,
song.
okay.
I remember Michael Phelps singing it, but I didn't know which Olympics it was.
Yeah.
And I believe Chris was the closest. Chris was 38.
Oh,
Carly Rae
wow.
Jepsen.
Yeah, for a lot, almost nailed it.
Yeah.
I remember a story being like, oh, yeah, she's way older.
Way older.
That's what the
Heaven
story
forbid.
was.
Like, she had to,
And then he fist bumped.
way older. She had to make like herself look younger so that her music could get played.
Yeah, the music sounds a little.
Yeah, think about that. She was 27
Teenish.
when that came out.
Yeah,
I'm not touching any of this.
yeah, it's probably smart.
Happy birthday. Oh, we'll do your game here, Chris.
Yes,
Happy
please.
birthday, Michael
Phelps.
Myers.
Michael Myers. Jordan?
Oh, that's how we play this.
Yes.
Michael,
Kind of off
you
the
said
top.
Myers, you said Jordan.
Yeah,
I'm going to
Phelps.
go, he said Phelps. I'm going to go with Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Strahan.
What?
I know he's
Strahan.
Michael Strahan?
Yeah.
Michael
Strahan.
Strahan. That is the correct person we're looking for. Happy
That's
birthday to Michael
terrific.
Strahan. How old is Michael Strahan today?
45. He looks good.
Looks good for 45. All right.
Trying to think the most teethy number I could say.
Yes.
6?
50 Thor.
54?
I don't know.
Okay.
50 Thor.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 56.
I'm going to say 51.
Christopher Lott again, 52.
Wow.
for Michael
What's
Strahan.
happening here?
All right,
birthday,
here we
man.
go. I'm
Just
going
pick
to
your
like these
cards.
answers. Happy birthday, Ken.
Griffey Jr.
Dole
Ooh.
Jenner.
Kendall Jenner.
Dole Jenner.
Doll Jenner.
So we got Ken Griffey Jr., Kendall Jenner, Ken.
Ken Norton Jr.
Oh, another Ken. Okay.
Ken from Street Fighter.
I don't
Ken
know
from
how many
Street Fighter?
Kens I know. Ken.
Can you guess a name?
Yeah, no, I
We've
cannot.
already got the correct answer. Happy
Okay,
birthday
great.
to the sweetest swing of all time,
Oh,
Ken Griffey
beautiful.
Jr. How old
Wow.
is KGJ today?
Making a good comeback in commercials.
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy
And
knows
an
stuff.
amazing photographer.
Yes.
Yes, him and Randy Johnson.
Yeah, who
Right.
From
Yeah.
Mariners to photography.
Yeah.
You should be able to get this. Everyone.
1989
Just
was
count
his
the
rookie
yeah,
card.
That's the
Right,
prime
right.
upper deck. What do you guys got?
58.
Okay.
That's a good
Yeah,
guess.
he's got to be 59.
59, 58,
I'll say 56.
56,
Well, then I'll take
Probably
57.
young.
57. Chris Watkins for the win. 54.
Wow.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Trying to age him.
All right. Happy birthday.
on.
I think you guys will get this. Troy.
Aikman.
Bolton.
High
Who's
School
Troy
Musical.
Bolton?
Okay.
High School Musical.
Thank you. Needed that.
Those are the only
Simone's
two-
like, yes.
Come on.
All right. Well, we've already got it. Troy Aikman. How old is Troy Aikman today? Good star power today.
62.
62.
Great star power. Got Troy Aikman and Ken Griffey on the same
Yeah.
day. Wow.
Yeah. And Carly Rae Jepsen.
Carly Rae
Michael
The
Strahan.
three-
Strahan too.
Mount
This is a Mount Rushmore.
64. So we have a 62, 64 for Troy Aikman.
Ugh.
I'm going to guess 59.
59.
I'm gonna say. Yeah, I'll say 67.
Chris Verlon.
Way
for the
old.
win.
That's way old.
57.
Yeah,
Chris Verlon.
that's
You're
what
the
I
closest. Happy birthday to, well, this will be too, I'll just give her name and see if you guys know her. Goldie Hawn. Goldie Hawn.
Ooh.
The young group. Do you know who Goldie Hawn is?
Yeah, I know some guys.
77.
Okay.
Yeah. 75.
75.
72.
If I said 67, you would have went
Yep.
65.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
You set the bar.
I never say them first if I have no idea.
I'll say the big 7-0.
7-0. Emron, you're the closest. 78.
Unbelievable. Well, I thought of Suzanne Somers, who rest in peace just passed, but
About
it was
the
around
same
that
age.
same age,
Yeah.
same era.
All right, happy birthday, Justin.
Timberlake.
Bieber.
Any more Justins? Because we don't have the correct one yet.
Jefferson.
Trudeau.
Mr. Jefferson. Trudeau. Good call. Good
Credible.
call. Justin who?
Credible. He's a wrestler.
Just in time.
All right, here we go. Happy birthday to Justin Tucker, field goal kicker for the Ravens.
Wow,
money.
what a day for
58.
athletes.
58 years old.
That's the distance of field goal we can make. Justin Tucker.
I'm going to say 36.
6.
Those kickers can go a long time.
39.
Think so?
No.
That's cool.
35.
34.
34. We have a correct answer, our first one of the day, and it is 34, Chris Vermont.
Wow.
Let's see. We got to get a former King in. I don't think I have to
8 more years of
give a
Justin
guess here
Tucker.
to the last name.
Great.
Happy birthday to Olden Polonies.
Hey,
OP.
OP. Does OP suck? That was kind of the chant that we had growing up. Yeah.
Many times that was said in that arena.
Were you ever around for that?
No.
They would have been.
Was
sad.
Olden the one who said Marvin Bagley, his game could possibly replicate Giannis's? I believe he said that on
That
these
was
airwaves.
That
Yeah, I
was Doug
believe.
Christie.
No, I.
Who did OP say that to? The guy that
I
who was
believe
serving?
he said it on the air. I believe he said that Marvin Bagley could be like Giannis.
All right, quick guesses here for
OP is 68.
52.
Yeah, 54.
53.
59. I can't remember the math. 62 was probably the closest.
Yeah,
I think.
62.
All right, that's it for us. Thank you, Emma, for
You're
stepping
welcome.
in. Make sure you check out his show Saturdays at 10, the True Sports Card Show. Up next, Styles and Watkins here on Sactown Sports. See ya.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only.